The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan, Slambert. Levitt's Slambert.
Shall we play a game?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
And Cameron.
And today we are going to be reviewing the beloved JRPG from the year 2000 in the States, 99 in Japan. The Legend of Dragoon. This is my second time playing the game, and I completed it last time, but Craig didn't beat it when I had him play it years and years ago.
Yeah, I got to the Divine Dragon, and that's where I stopped.
Oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
I think that might be the only thing I died
Plus,
to.
I was not good at the additions then.
Yeah.
I am way better at it now.
You weren't good at the timing minigame, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the timing minigame that is the entirety of the combat.
Yeah, if you're not good at it, you're going to have a hard time with this game.
Because they block grinding specifically for that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
We'll talk about that.
It's cock-blocked. Anyway. Assassin cocked. Yeah. Interesting enemies in this game. But before we dive into that, guys, if this is your first episode of Nude Clan, bi-weekly video game podcast. One of our shows is the gaming. The other show is advice, sometimes gaming as well. If this is your first episode, thanks for hanging out with us. We got a shitload of other ones that you can check out. Been going for years now. Yeah, you can tweet the show at Nude Clan Podcast. That's where you find any and every poll that we put up for the nominated games. We're going to have a nomination tonight, I believe. We should probably do one just for the hell of it. It's going to be Cameron and I, so that'll be fun.
Yep.
And you guys get to vote on which game gets played through Twitter. Used to do it through the website, but it was corruptible, and it brought us some great things. But my God, was it corruptible?
Very corruptible.
Thousands of downloads for certain games. It's like, yeah, I don't really think these are all real. Just something tells me that that's not actually happening. And anyway, so we can find that. You can tweet us individually. My Twitter handle is at UFF Podcast.
Mine is at Obsidian Bar.
And mine is at Nude Clan Cam.
If you guys want to support the show, patreon.com/Nude Clan Podcast or gaming, something like that. You can do that there. You can also support us on Twitch, where we occasionally, very rarely, until I get my streaming shit fixed here, stream on Twitch. You can support us there through your Amazon Prime membership or just directly through subbing. Craig is kind of the only one that's been streaming lately, but I think we should try to get back into it a little more.
Yep.
Yeah. I need to figure out how to do it on the Xbox so I can stream some of those.
Yeah. So we're going to try to get better at that, but you can go over there and follow us. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Nude Clan Gaming. That's nude spelled NEWD. And you can find a lot of this and a lot more, everything you could ever want, at nudeclan.net, which is our unofficial site. The official site, audibletrial.com/nudeclan. Get in on the Audible. Support us. It's great. It's awesome. You got time.
Yeah, buy credits.
Yeah, buy credits.
Constantly buy credits.
That
is the most amazing thing they've ever done. And it's ridiculous because I'm spending too much money on it.
Yeah, the cool thing is we get a kickback whenever somebody does buy credits, too.
Yeah, the first time I've ever had to buy credits was just this past little bit. Just because I was reading or listening to that series that Caleb suggested to me. They don't seem to be very long, so I actually had to power through all three of those books.
20 hours, yeah.
I powered all three of those books in a very timely manner, which required me to purchase some credits.
Which series is it? What do you guys?
The Night Angel trilogy.
The Night Angel trilogy. It's interesting.
Oh, yeah, I've never heard of that.
Still trying to decide how much I like it.
Give it a listen.
Yeah, I probably won't, but you know, I can't keep buying credits.
I'm starting the Lightbringer series that you told me about, and I don't think I like it very much so far.
That one takes a little bit to get into.
It's too much with all the colors.
You don't like all the colors of the wind?
All the colors of the light.
It's like the guy finally discovered a prism, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, one of the guys is a prism.
Yeah,
so,
he's the prism.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's bad. And
Basically,
the narrator,
like,
I don't like
the
that.
light is the different types of magic.
And I don't like the narrator that much either. The way he,
Yeah, the narrator is the biggest annoyance in that series.
So I don't know if I'm going to give this one much of a go after the next little bit, but I'll decide. See, with Audible, if you don't like the book, you can always just return it for that credit back. So
That's true, yeah. That is a nice thing about it. And then, like, the other app that I use that supplement it, sometimes you've got months of waiting time on there, so I'll just buy it on Audible. I'm like, or like with Sapiens, I was just like, well, I can wait. And it was seriously like 7 months, and I was like, I should have just bought it.
Yeah.
I should have just bought it. It's such an interesting book. Like, should have just went Audible. It's a great way to support us, and it's a great way to support your fucking brain. So do that. Guys, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Craig, what have you been doing? This week and a half, actually.
Fuck, dude, so many games. Let's see, I've been playing some Cuphead, some Final Fantasy VII, it's Sunset Overdrive, which is one of those quote-unquote Xbox exclusives.
Yeah. Craig earlier was telling me that the show should get an Xbox One, and I was like, maybe. And then I looked it up to double check, and there's no reason. Like, we have yours.
I guess every single one of the Xbox exclusive games is now on Steam and whatever. So,
and the Microsoft
or at least
Store.
the Microsoft Store.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And then Game Pass extends to both PC and the Xbox.
Yeah.
So
the only time we would get into any trouble is if we all three had to play one.
yeah,
And if we did that, one of us could just... Well, I guess it'd have to be you. You could just finish and then give it to Craig or Cameron.
yeah,
Because you finish things like 2 months early anyway.
yeah.
So, yeah. Apparently it's not an exclusive anymore. I was surprised about Halo 5.
I knew that one was at least ported to Steam or something.
Yeah.
But I thought ReCore was like the one that was left, or at least Halo, because I heard about them moving all the gears over. But I guess they're all available on PC.
That's why if like you're not a huge Xbox guy, there's kind of no reason to buy an Xbox right now. If you already have a PS4 and a Switch, you've got enough exclusives with those two, and if you have a PC, there's really like no need.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of perfect for me. So I got a pretty decent. Decent
having
computer.
an Xbox means it's great for the Game Pass, but other than that,
Right, yeah. It's like it's hard to justify buying one at this point for me, but anyway, what else have you been doing? You got the Cuphead, you got the
some Battlefield 5. Played a little bit of that. Let's see what the fuck else. I played that one of the new games that was available for Plus, that Horizon Turbo Chase or whatever.
It's not like a racing game, I guess.
Yeah, it's like those old arcade ones, those 16-bit arcade racing games.
Oh, okay.
They just like updated it so you can like play online and is like smoother graphics.
How is that?
But that's exactly how it plays. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it. It's really kind of annoying when you bump into the other guys, though. I've gotten second place so many fucking times because the guy will like bump into me to the side, and somehow that'll like boost him forward and push me back slightly, so I'll be behind him by like a fucking millisecond, and I just want to fucking slit his throat.
Wow. So it's an online one, though, he said?
Yeah, you can play it online, and then the online multiplayer has like split screen.
Oh, okay. That could be cool to play
Yeah.
together. Because, I mean, we played a lot of... I know it was a while ago, but we played a bunch of Rocket League. So we're open to the idea of playing these multiplayer multiplayer games.
It's always a lot of fun when we do that.
Yeah, especially if you've played those like old arcade racing games like Cruisin' USA and Cruisin' World and stuff like that, because that's exactly how it plays. It's a little smoother though, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did I play? Oh yeah, I played some fucking Mass Effect. So I have a little story about this fucking Mass Effect, right? Okay, so I played. Let's see, Mass Effect isn't that long. It's maybe like 15 hours. And I played like 6 hours one weekend. Or not one weekend, this space of time. And what happened was that I got to this part where you get to this boss fight versus... have you guys played Mass Effect?
Yeah, I played Mass Effect.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the first boss fight, or kind of boss fight you get to, is against the matriarch Benezia. So I get to her, right? And then one of her fucking agents like uses her psychic powers on me. And it like has my guy do the falling animation, but he just stays in the falling animation. So I'm just like sitting there eternally, just like fucking waiting to die because I can't get back up. I can't move around. For some reason, it will let me switch weapons. I can switch weapons while I'm falling down, apparently, but I can't do anything else. And my two guys are like sticking right next to me because that's how the game plays, and it's also like a cover-based shooter. So my guys are just sitting there like fucking ducks, just getting fucked in the ass.
Yeah, as ducks will do.
Yeah, as ducks will do by their corkscrew cocks. That's an interesting fact about ducks. Did you know that?
No, I knew pigs.
They have corkscrew penises. Anyway, so yeah, they're getting fucked as ducks do, and then I just fucking die because like I can't do anything. They're literally just getting wailed on. They hardly do anything damage wise. No matter who hits me, like it doesn't move my guy at all. I'm literally just stuck in the falling animation. So I'm like, fuck. Well, I guess I'll just die and then restart this part.
Right.
So I die. And then I find out that the autosave function has been corrupted. So I start the game again, and it puts me back 2 fucking hours away from where I was. And I'm at the most annoying part in the entire fucking game. Just like early on, it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna fuck you right now. We're gonna throw so many fucking glitches at you that you're gonna have to rage quit and then start again on an entirely different system.
And see, the funny thing is this happened to you in Bounty Hunter too. There was another glitch you ran into where your guy was just like doing the... Oh no, it was the dude above you who was doing a falling animation forever.
Yeah.
You've got like falling animation-itis in these games.
We just need to fucking make Craig's alternate persona the glitch hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, I should be a playtester. Like, I really should be. Just because of, like...
Just because you play games.
I find all the glitches.
You play games in a way that no dev could anticipate.
I guess. I guess I play them so in such an advanced way that it just, like, fucks the game over. It's like no one is meant to play
just
this
watch
well.
Craig's gameplay a little bit. He's just running in the corner for 30 minutes and he stops, turns back around, and just does some random, just fucked up shit that no sane person would do.
Something like that happened to me in fucking Final Fantasy VII. I was playing 7 and I got fucking stuck. And like it was on the way to the one boss fight in Cosmo Canyon. I was like going along and then it just like fucking stuck. Like I couldn't move anymore.
I don't remember everything getting stuck.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me move.
Fucking glitch.
It was ridiculous.
I
had to turn off the game.
I think your consoles might just overheat and it just like melts down.
It doesn't overheat. It would tell me if it was overheating.
Something on its core. Well, maybe the thing that tells you that it's overheating also melts down, so it can't tell you.
It can't tell me when it's fucked up.
Yeah, it can't tell you when it's fucked up. It just leaves you guessing. Like,
dude,
did
my
I
fucking
actually
PS4 itself is glitching on me. It's like constantly just like freezing, and then it's like system malfunction, and then it like, and then it's fine again, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Mine doesn't do that. Mine sometimes will get really fucking slow though. Like it's laggy. I'll press the button and it like takes a second, and I'm just like, oh my god. But it doesn't do the. It doesn't say system malfunction ever. That's crazy.
Yeah, the whole Mass Effect thing, and then I had another glitch when I. Oh yeah, another glitch. Fucking Sunset Overdrive. The last fucking mission of the game, audio cut out completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking gone. And then the like 2 of the cutscenes, it just like fucking zoomed in so far onto like a car that it was like seeing through the map. And I was just like, okay.
That dude, that's fucked. I remember Max Payne 1 when I played that a few years back. Like every time I would load the game up, sometimes I would get like a split second of music. And then like I was like, is there supposed to be a soundtrack to this game? Because I don't know.
That last mission of fucking Sunset Overdrive, like nothing was happening. No voices or anything. Like occasionally, like when I would fall or get hit, like music would randomly start playing. And I'm like, oh my god, is it fixed? No. It's like, here's your reward for fucking sucking.
Yeah, you don't get sound at all. Shit, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was really throwing me off. But yeah, I don't know why I thought Xbox would be glitch free. I don't know how I made that assumption because it proved me wrong almost immediately.
Yeah, so you said you're going to play Mass Effect on computer now, right?
Yeah, I already started it back up on PC, where the only glitch that I encountered on that one is having fucking Shepard be redacted for the entire game.
Oh, you're just invisible?
No, he's just like blacked out of the screen.
You're like, I can live with this.
This is
Yeah, I did live with that. Like it started at the same part where I got glitched in Mass Effect, like 6 hours in.
The main character's appearance in this game has been blacked out to protect his identity.
Yeah.
It's fucking right, dude. I like make the character and it's like redacted. Just blacks about. Not even just his face, like the entire character model. You can't even tell.
Didn't this
what
happen
armor
to you
he's
the
wearing.
last time you played Mass Effect as well?
Yeah. It's on the same one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so you just loaded the game?
Not the exact same file. No, I started a new one on my PC though.
Oh, it's just permanently glitched there?
I guess, yeah. It just doesn't want me to see Colonel Shepard or Commander Shepard.
Well, I mean, what did you make him? Did you make him a dude?
Yeah, I just made him the character model that it has preset.
Oh, okay. See, that's where you went wrong. You're supposed to make him a chick.
Femshep.
Yeah, femship. Craig's got all the lingo.
Yeah.
Well,
for us. Yeah, I've seen porn.
There is porn.
I'm sure.
Awkward silence.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's... Let's see, what the fuck else have I played? Oh, I played some Warhammer Vermintide 2, which is kind of cool. It's like an online mission-based game that's like a first-person gauntlet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Nice.
I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Cameron?
So this week, I really only played just a bit of Diablo 3 on the Switch. Then I did play a couple rounds of Battlefield 5 yesterday, and that's about it.
All right. Let's see. For me, it's been mostly Legend of Dragoon. I obviously finished that up last night for this episode. I played a decent amount of Four Heroes of Light, and I've actually gotten quite a bit of time in Cuphead today. Not very far. I'm getting super fucked because it's a platformer with lots of dodging and weaving, things that I'm not good at in games, it seems. But
yeah, I have to try that out. I don't know how much I'm gonna like this game.
Yeah, did you liked Shovel Knight, right?
Yeah, Shovel Knight was fun.
It's I think it's probably better.
It's not the same at all.
It's not the same. The platforming is way different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more like the old Mega Man games,
right,
or like the old Castlevania where you're just shooting.
And this was just a side scroller too. Like, there's not like, well, I know Shovel Knight was, but you still kind of had to know things about Shovel Knight. This one I can just pick up and don't have to worry about anything. I just pick it up and play and learn the mechanics as I go. Right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much,
yeah.
You just shoot and dodge. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's a lot of shooting and a lot of dodging. I don't know. It's reminiscent of those old games, those brutal ass games.
Yeah,
that
like I
Craig-
was telling Schweiss, like platformers have a kind of rhythm, and once you get a part of that rhythm, it's fine.
Okay. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you got to still buy that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should
I
probably
need
do
to
that.
buy an SD card for the Switch, and then I can buy that game.
What do you mean?
There's no room
Diablo's
on the
taking up
Switch.
all of his space.
Oh. It's really that big?
Yeah.
Diablo's like 20-something gigs, and the Switches don't have very big memory cards.
Oh, okay. See, most of the games I have on mine are smaller games, so I haven't really bought anything new like Diablo, even though that's not a new game, but it's still a beefy game. All right. Yeah, and then some Cuphead. So we know what everyone's been playing this week, but the real question, the only question, the important question, has anyone beaten a game this week?
Yeah, I beat that Sunset Overdrive, that Cuphead, and that Final Fantasy VII.
When did you start 7?
For fucking ever ago. I technically started it when it came out, but I only got to the part where you're at the Midgar Zolom, and I stopped playing
Why did you stop there? You don't even have to fight that guy.
because I wanted to fight him, and I did it. Fucked him over.
All right. I beat... Or Cameron, did you beat anything?
No.
Okay. I beat The Legend of Dragoon. So, Nude Clan Hog for the hosts is as follows. 29 games. Caleb Craig, King Hog, destroying it. I am in second place with 19 games. Cameron is in third place with 7 games. So, you are 22 games ahead of Cameron.
Yeah.
You are more games ahead of Cameron than I and... You have more games beaten than Cameron and I combined this year.
Yeah, you remember how you tweeted out that picture saying that you were going to beat me in the hog?
I've tweeted out a statue of a man manhandling a hog is all I did.
With the caption, an actual picture of me taking down Obsidian Bar in the hog.
Maybe I meant Super Hog. Not that it's actually going to be easier for me to beat you in this than it is in that, I think, at this
The
point.
Super Hog? Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like... I don't know if I'm still in 10th place. It's been a struggle to maintain my 10th place position.
Yeah. Your audiobooks are fucking me, though. Speaking
I've got
of...
like 56 of them or something like that now.
Yeah. We're in the playoffs. I have to do that today, and then we're going to do it again in like 2 days. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Not sure how that's going to work out. Might have to do a bye week or something.
Maybe.
Or just do it in a few days. I think that might be better. Just have it all a couple weeks combined instead of like 10 days and then 2 days. Yeah, we'll do that. So we're not going to do Hog League this week. We're just going to do it next week, and it's going to be 2 weeks worth of points. So keep hogging your shit. Because that way you don't have a super round, like semifinals where it's 3 days worth of material.
Yeah.
It's kind of bullshit. Anyway, though, fuck you, Craig. That's a ridiculous amount of games. Like, I thought you were going to take it easy this year. You keep saying that. You keep saying I'm going to take it easy.
You
and
know,
then, like,
I just started playing the Xbox games, because I got that pass, and I'm like, well, fuck, man.
you got to start using that how long to beat, too. I got to see your
I know.
backlog.
I gotta put some stuff in there.
Dude, mine is disgusting, and I'm not even done putting everything in there. It's like
This is what happens
hundreds.
when you keep buying games on sales and pick up free games that you'll never play.
Well,
Yeah.
most of them that I'm never going to play were from Humble Bundles, where it was like $1. And I was buying it for one specific game.
I think it's hundreds of days for me to complete what I have put in. And that's... I don't think I have all of my PS1 games. I think I have all the PS2 games, and then maybe some PS3, but that's none of those...
So much.
This is
No,
all
much
stuff
game.
you haven't completed yet.
yeah, that I own. But the Plus games, I haven't even put the Plus games in. So, like, it's gonna be ridiculous if I do actually put those in there. I don't know if I should, though. I don't know if they count. I'll do it if I beat them, but I don't know if I should put them as backlog. So
Wait,
kinda
which
like on the
games?
fence. Like the ones I got for PlayStation Plus. I don't know if those count. Because I don't technically own them.
I mean, if
Because
they're
I-
never ones you're going to play, then I wouldn't put them on the backlog. But
Yeah, I guess. Maybe I'll just put them on when I beat them. If I ever beat any of the ones that I've gotten. But yeah, it's a disgusting amount. Anyway, Craig, do we have a question this week?
I don't currently have my phone, and no, we don't.
Okay, well, I
Are you
guess
just saying that because you don't have your phone, or you don't want?
We
to
haven't received a fucking question over Twitter in like a month.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure we got something on the Geekdom Nude Clan forums. So let's see what we got here. So first up, Sean Perks. Hope you're cool with the name drop. Hey, this is not so much a question as more of a statement, but I was listening to you guys' last episode just a little bit ago. There's actually a VR headset. It's only $399. It's completely wireless, called the Oculus Quest. It has full motion and wireless. Also, Cameron was asking about a VR racing game, and there are VR arcades that have Mario Kart VR. It's not quite as in-depth as he was saying, but it's pretty close to the full racing in VR. So I guess my question is, would at $399 for an entry-level headset, full wireless and motion controls, would you guys be interested in doing something like that? So with the $400 entry, is that something that you'd want to do based on his description, I guess?
No. $400 is what you drop on an entire console, and you're expecting a certain amount of library to go along with said console. And we've talked about VR before, and VR just doesn't have the library or the pull to really make it something that we want.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Cameron? $400 out of the box, ready to go. Is it worth it? I know we know nothing about this console other than what he said. But
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel right now the games are just more gimmicky than. We didn't answer the question about the AMD Ryzen.
Oh, yeah, we got
Maybe we
stuff in
did.
there.
Okay. Anyways,
We can. No, I mean, like, I don't think we have. I
Right.
forgot we have questions in the
New
Discord
Clan Q.
now.
and the questions in the Discord, yeah.
Yeah.
No, anyways, as I was saying, the games. So the hardware is cheaper, which is nice. $400 is still like a console price just for the ability to use, a VR headset.
Yeah.
And the games, I feel, don't quite match that much money being spent on it. Even like the resolution of these VR headsets is still not as high quality as you'd want it to be. I was playing Drive Club VR the other day, and it's fun. It's immersive, and it made me want to go out and buy the whole, racing chair and steering wheel and all that, because that sounds like it'd be fun. And then I'll slowly take it to the next level with a chair that can make you feel like you're actually driving by moving you around.
Right.
But the games themselves are not yet. The gear isn't as high quality as I want it to be, and the games themselves aren't as high quality as I want them to be.
Yeah, there's some stuff that I kind of want to play, like Tethered and Moss, or
Yeah.
like the PS4 exclusive ones for VR. But that's like about it. Those are the only ones that I know of that are supposed to be like really well received by
I would
critics and whatever.
probably seriously consider picking up that PlayStation VR headset if the resolution on that headset was actually worthwhile. If I could get it crystal clear while playing Drive Club, that would be a big thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, if you can get it crystal clear while watching some porn, I mean, that'd be a game over, right? But PlayStation, it's cool, but yeah, it's still kind of in that gimmick range. You've got.
And that one's for like PC or something, or it has like its own games that can be downloaded. I'm not exactly sure about that free range one.
I mean, I'm looking online at
But,
the PlayStation headset resolution. I'm getting it's 1920 by 1080, but it doesn't look like that to me. For some reason.
It doesn't look 1080.
I think most of the VR games are just really lackluster. Like I played Resi 7,
like I was playing
and it was
Run
okay.
Club, and it was not.
It was
HD.
not like what it was on the TV.
No, not at all.
Maybe you have to change the settings or something somehow.
Maybe. I mean, if that's a thing, and someone could tell me that's a thing to get it, HD resolution clear. I mean, you also have to remember that your eyes are inches away from the screen when you're on a headset.
Yeah.
So pixel density is an important thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, Resi 7 looked okay, but I still think it looks slightly better on the TV.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. I just don't think there's enough out there to really justify it. I mean, those games we played at the arcade, those were fun. When we did the VR arcade thing, but like those aren't. It's fun in a way that it's kind of gimmicky fun. Like, oh, that was a good time. Like, we would go back a couple more times, and that would probably be it. We would get our fill of these games, and it's one of those things where you convince yourself, like, man, I would play this so much. And then when you actually sit back and think about it, like...
No, they're all party games. They're all games that you'd play like only when you're having like a gathering, and then you never touch at all in the meantime.
Because why would you? I mean, there are plenty of games that we have that we want to get to, and these are not going to be the ones to get gotten to. They're just, like you said, it's just a party game. It's the Settlers of Catan kind of thing. Like, you're not going to play it all the time.
Yeah, you're not going to play it by yourself.
Exactly. You're going to play it when a certain group of people are over. So I guess that's a better case for getting it because it is out of the box kind of sounding. With it, but
I don't know. It just would be like more worth it to me to get like a PlayStation 1 where you can like they have some games that are VR ready already. Where like you can play like Resident Evil 7. You can just put on the VR headset and it'll let you play it in VR.
Yeah.
Like it has more of those games, I feel like, and then it has some of those exclusive PS4 VR games, which look pretty sweet.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Yeah, other than that, it just $400 is still way too much.
I mean, would you consider going in like $100 each on it and just having one?
I mean, I wouldn't mind us having one, but it's like.
If we all pitched in for it, then it wouldn't be bad. Because it's not like you're going to use it all the time anyway.
Yeah.
Because VR games are still gimmicky and they don't have that draw to pull in a daily player.
Yeah, and it's not like a VR game. It's going to be like hours long.
Yeah, right. It's going to be you making it that long by doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only way I would actually get one of these VR sets is if, like, group of 4 of us just, like, put $100 down and we all took turns with it.
Yeah, because like that's kind of an expensive accessory to a console, and then especially like to a PC, because like you're already spending, a couple grand on your fucking PC because you want it for gaming, and then on top of that, you're just gonna buy a $400 headset to play some random gimmicky VR games. It just doesn't. It just doesn't have that appeal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and you're right. It's just an overpriced accessory at this point. It's just truly too expensive. So that's where we are, I guess. We had another one that was guy telling us that there are collector's editions of Doom still at GameStop. He sent us a link, and I clicked on the link, and it said they're sold out. They probably weren't sold out when he sent it to us 3 weeks ago, but they are now. So thank you. Unfortunately,
we did not look in time.
No, yeah, it's no longer available to us for consumption.
I do want that Doom helmet. I also kind of want a Master Chief helmet and a Power Armor helmet.
You just want all the helmets?
All the helmets, yeah. I would just like all the helmets.
Yeah, that's... I mean, they are kind of cool. Especially the Doom helmet. That's very exciting for me. All right, you ready to get into this Legend of Dragoon, Craig?
Hell yeah.
All right, let's dive in. Legend of Dragoon.
With that sweet-ass trailer.
Yeah, I wonder if this is an official.
Welcome to the world of my imagination.
He's holding a piece of materia from Final Fantasy VII. I don't think this is an actual trailer. This music is, I don't think it's right.
So that wasn't from the game?
No. The game does
I
not.
was getting going off of that.
Yeah, the game does not have some 80s synth.
All right, you know what? I think that wasn't official. I think you're right. This one is. The journey that seeks the past ends. The journey to discover today begins. The Legend of Dragoon.
The Legend of Dragoon.
Magnificence. Deception. Retribution. Magical combat.
I don't remember the song in the game.
Innovative and deeply involving gameplay. Totally new real-time combat critical system.
And it's vaguely real-time.
Collect over 200 usable items, skills, and magic. Transform into dragoons for a new level of depth and play.
Just to be honest here.
What's that?
So I don't think it adds a whole new level of depth.
To gameplay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. So, Legend of
It's
Dragoon
just another thing that's been done before.
is a Japanese role-playing game developed by Sony Computer Entertainment Japan Studio and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation in the month of December for Japan in 1999 and in 2000, June of 2000. I don't know why it took them 7 months to translate. Because it's translated like trash.
Yeah. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
So the game took over 3 years to develop with over 100 staff members, and the development costs were $16 million.
Damn.
Yeah, the director was Yasuyuki Hasibe, produced by Shuhei Yoshida.
I think he's the president of Sony.
He is. Yeah, Yoshida, that's right. So it was produced by him. That was back before he was running the show.
Nice.
Kenshi Iwata, artists, Tetsuya Nakamura. Yeah. Nobody cares, though. So it ended up...
Nobody cares about these people.
Yeah, it was... I think it was pretty decently... It was okay. It was well received, I guess. It was like kind of positive. Some people bitched about it, especially considering when it came out. But that's probably a lot mostly due to the 3-year development time and it coming out at the tail end.
I don't think I've heard any negative criticism towards this game.
Not in like the public, no. The game ended up selling over 1 million copies worldwide, most of those coming from North America, and it is considered a success. So 16 million, that seems like
it was greatest hits, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The copy we bought for the show, which is available as part of you guys' drawing at the end of the month, or the next week, I guess, technically, you will be able to take it home if you so desire. Everything's in there, greatest hits, ready to roll. So it did hit greatest hits. It made money.
It's gonna be like good. You're gonna keep your colored disc ones.
Oh yeah, I'm not giving that away.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, part of me is like, am I ever going to play this game again? Maybe not. So, like, do I really need to keep it?
But you have the colored discs.
Exactly,
That's what
yeah.
matters.
Maybe in another 15 years, I'll think back on it the same way I did before I started it again.
You'll have, like, rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
You're like, maybe I'll play it again. And then you're like, oh, yeah.
I shouldn't play this again. So, that is kind of the development history. Kind of a long-ass development. 3 years is... I mean, there are games that have dwarfed it since then. But still, 3 years is kind of a long time to produce a game.
Yeah.
But let's dive into the first category in which we rate these bad boys, the story. So it starts out when Dart...
let's just tell them what the actual story is. Because this game has a lot of stuff that is not story.
Yeah, like what?
Like everything. Fucking everything that's part of this game is not story up until, like, they go meet Emperor Diaz. That's all not story.
Yeah, that's kind of all lore, huh? mostly.
Literally,
I guess.
okay, so basically what it is the whole background of this fucking game is actually what happened 11,000 years before in the fucking game.
Yeah, see, Final Fantasy does either 1 or 10,000, so they decided, let's combine those two into 11,000.
Yeah, they were like, let's do that. All right, so 11,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time, also, by
This
the way.
fucking this fucking tree gave birth to 108 species. All right, and one of those was the assassin cock.
Yeah.
Just had to put that out there because that is an actual enemy name.
I wonder if there are actually only 108 things in the game. Like that, wouldn't that be kind of crazy?
Yeah, there might only be
Unless the
because
assassin
you don't
cock
really fight.
evolved from a different kind of cock. You know, like it was just a normal plump cock or like a Cocytus erectus.
The stealth cock.
Yeah, it's like got its little cock tree of like what it came from.
It's like a whole different job classes for the cocks.
Yeah, so maybe it's just all birds, and then some of them happen to be assassin cocks, and then we have chickens. 11,000 years. I mean, that's not
True.
very long for evolution, but I don't know if these guys know that.
They could have learned some assassin ways.
Okay, all right. Anyway, so the Yggdrasil tree, essentially.
Yeah, so it created 108 species, the last few being humans, Gigantos, Winglies, which is a fucking stupid name, and then the god of destruction. By himself, the god of destruction is one of those things. And so the Winglies decided to split the god of destruction's body from his soul, turn the soul somehow into a fucking, like, necklace, which gave the Winglies leader, Milbuframa, like, a bunch of power. And then they sealed the body as, like, the moon that never sets, which again, is a stupid concept.
Yeah, doesn't actually make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So it's never sets on one place, but it never is in another place.
It literally just hangs in the air all the time, really close to Earth, because it's not that
Wait,
large.
so is this a flat Earther's Earth, or is
No, it's an actual
It's Earth.
sphere.
It's supposed to be Earth.
Yeah.
So I guess only one hemisphere gets to enjoy the moon that never sets.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know if it's enjoying. I bet you the tides are horrible because of that thing. Because it's like right there. Like you could see, it's like a column of water going to the moon, and then it just resides.
If it's tidally locked like that, it's probably extremely geoactive.
It's really not that big because there's literally a part where it falls on the world tree.
Oh.
And it catches it, yeah.
Yeah, and it catches it.
So really, it can't be the moon that never sets because it's not big enough to not set everywhere.
Yeah, it literally just stays in the same place in the sky. That's literally why they call it the moon that never sets, but
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's really
also,
fucking stupid.
It's also the moon that never rises.
Yeah. You don't have to wake up if you never go to bed.
That's right. But anyway, so yeah, they separate that, and then Milbuframa, having like a shitload of power now, gets real... basically just wants to take over and oppress like all the other races. And so the dragons and the humans team up. 7 dragons leave their spirits behind so that they can fuse with the humans to become dragoons. And then they lead a war against Milbuframa. And then the leader of the dragoons, Zieg, defeats Milbuframa. And he turns him into stone. And then Milbuframa's sister tells Rose that... because they destroyed the necklace around Milbuframa's neck, like a moon child will be born every 108 years. I have no idea how she fucking knew this. But, yeah. So a moon child who possesses the spirit of the demon, of the god of destruction, will appear every 108 years. So she kind of, like, becomes an immortal, becomes the black monster, and destroys... the moon child every time it's born, which basically leads right into the plot of the game, where it starts with Dart and Shanna, because Dart's parents were killed by the black monster while she was looking for the moon child, who happened to be Shanna's twin sister, because Shanna's a princess, conveniently. and stuff. And
Yeah.
that's the only real connection to the past that these characters have, other than the fact that Dart's father is Zeeg, who somehow got unstonified, banged his mom, and then got taken over by Milbu Frama's spirit, and then became the bad guy.
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense unless he boned his mom as Milbu Frama.
No, he was... Okay, so, like, basically what it was is, like, when he tried to use his Dragoon power to fight the Black Monster when it appeared in Neat, that's when Milbu Frama took over. I guess it was tied to his power, the Dragoon power, and it unlocked Milbu Frama.
Huh.
It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because he had a nice 25-year period where he just, like, went out and banged Dart's mom.
Yeah, it's a good time. And then suddenly he can't.
But yeah, that's literally the story. It's that, like, nothing happens up until they meet Zeeg, and then he's like, what, my dad's alive? And he's like, yeah, Milbu Frama. I'm trying to combine the fucking, the moon that never sets with Shanna over there so that I can fuse my body with, the god of destruction so I can become the ultimate being.
Yeah.
As is every plot of every RPG ever.
Yeah, pretty much. So I didn't start taking notes in the beginning, but you have a lot of stuff where your characters are meeting up. There's honestly, the beginning of the game, the dialogue is pretty terrible.
Oh yeah, it's so bad, dude. Like, you start out with Shanna getting kidnapped, so you have to go rescue her from a prison where you meet Lavitz, and then you rescue Shanna, and then you go to like another town, and then all the NPCs are asking you when you're gonna fuck her. It's just
Yeah. There's a lot of that. There's a lot
like,
of like forced submission in this game of Shanna.
There's a lot of like, there's a love subplot between Dart and Shanna
that's forced,
but it's
almost entirely.
Oh yeah, it's super forced. Like every single NPC character is trying to put them together, and then like another character appears who also likes Dart, and she's like, "Hey, when are we gonna fuck?" And then it's like, "Oh, Shanna gets jealous," and then it's like, it's just super forced.
Yeah, it's forced until about halfway through the game, and then it starts being like, "Oh, okay, this is fine."
Well, it's like Dart has no interest in her whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then suddenly he does.
Yeah. So eventually there's like a weird subplot where one of the kingdom's princesses has been swapped. They hot swapped.
Oh my god.
A
that one was
princess.
fucking stupid.
And they
it's
used
so fucking stupid.
They used astrology to find the missing princess. That was what they're like, we will search the stars. This is when we got Lloyd. We started getting Lloyd, who's kind
great
of the
value Sephiroth.
Yeah, I wrote down he's the dollar store Sephiroth and Dart is the great value Cloud. Like, this game wants to be Final Fantasy so fucking bad, and it's just not. Like,
yeah, but
it's really
try making a kick-ass evil, theme song out of a name like Lloyd instead of Sephiroth.
yeah. Lloyd. Yeah, Lloyd and Dart. I was like, God.
It honestly kind of felt like a little bit into the game that Lloyd should have joined your party, and then he just like never does.
No, I mean, he kind of does for like one move, and then he dies.
Yeah, like half a second, and he just gets fucked.
Yeah, he just gets one shot, which is mind-boggling.
Yeah, because like he finds out that like he's working for the bad guy, and then he's like, oh shit, and then he's like, all right, I'll help you, and then he dies.
Yeah.
So dumb.
So I wrote down that. I wrote down finding Stardust is me just finding people's cocaine stashes in the game.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's like every once in a while you'll like press X and it's like, oh, what's this? Stardust. And like it's either that or it's the at the fucking at the Natural History Museum. There's the space exhibit. It's either that or it's Neil deGrasse Tyson fucking you with his lips. His little movie is like, we all come from the stars. It's like there's like a chick in like a
it's just
red
very
dress.
exaggerated, like what he was doing with his face. He was just trying to convey something with his eyebrows and his lips, and just like trying to be like super into it. But it did come off as him trying to be super into you, the viewer, watching it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like you guys I want to put my stardust inside your stardust.
The universe isn't the only thing that's expanding exponentially.
yeah. So that's what I was reminded of. There's always an annoying child character. Every RPG has to have it, and this one's was Meru, who's a wingly kid.
Yeah, the chick who wants to bang Dart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Dart?
What? Well, I mean, she is blue, and he is Dart.
Yeah.
Blue Dart.
I also wrote down the only brown people in the entire game
I bet when they do get together, it'll be pretty hot, but pretty fast.
Yeah.
Probably.
God. The only brown people in the game for a long time were shoveling coal into a boat's engine. I thought that was kind of weird. I was like, oh, yeah, those guys are black. What are you guys doing down here? Like, oh, manual labor. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, all right.
Well, and then you got Kongol, and he's kind of a moron.
Yeah, well, he's more like Native American, though, I'd say.
Yeah, it's true.
So
he's also the only one left of his people.
That's right. Haschel, who is a martial arts guy, he's the old man martial artist guy, ends up shunning his daughter from his life for hitting someone with murderous intent, is what he said.
Oh my god, dude.
Like,
that fucking cutscene was one of the most cringy things I've ever seen.
You used your fist with murderous intent. I'm like, what?
What?
Okay, they were
Shut the fuck
they
up.
were training, right? And she hits this guy, and he's like, "You fucking stop! You tried to kill that guy." And she's like, "Well, I was just fucking training." And then he's like, "No, you fucking leave." And then he regrets it immediately.
Yeah,
because he's a fucking he's a fucking...
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. And he spends his whole life looking for her, and he can't because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, there's another subplot. There's a kingdom in the game. What is it, Basil?
Yeah.
Where Albert's from?
Yeah.
Where the king is protected by his gay lover, Lavitz Slambert, which is the greatest name they've ever come up with in any RPG.
Fucking
Slambert.
Slambert, yeah, that's such a fucking overpowered last name. And, like, the thing is Dart's name is super lame. Just Dart. Like, he's got a last name. Nobody cares.
I know,
what
yeah.
it is.
You get like characters who are like Kongol, Haschel, fucking Dart, Shanna, and then you get Levitt Slambert.
Yeah. It's like, oh my god. Like, even the...
And then King Albert, like nothing is as good.
No, yeah. And I think there's a gay subplot that the game explores just a little bit between Prince Albert, or I guess King Albert, and his main man, Lavitz Slambert.
Dude, that part... Okay, so it's a little bit of spoiler if you have any interest in this game and haven't played it. The old Slambert dies. And was the most heartbreaking scene of all time.
Yeah.
Fucking spoilers.
Slambert got slammed.
Yeah, he did.
That'll be the headline. In, like, the daily...
He got slammed. He got slammed for his lover.
He did. And
he saves Albert when they like rescue him from a prison because they got to do that multiple times.
yeah, and for some reason he had no shirt on when he was in this prison. Like, this
Albert
guy's
has
raping him.
no shirt. Yeah, and it's really funny because he has no shirt on. This scene has like a gay undertone, or at least it feels like it. Because like you have Dart tenderly holding Lavitz's hand, and then they're like, "I'm gonna avenge you, buddy. I'm gonna do this." And then you got like Albert looking on, crying with no shirt on.
Yeah, yeah. And I wrote the best thing I came up with for this section is that like they should have become married, and then it would have just been Albert Slambert, but the universe said that was one too many Berts, and they couldn't let it come to pass.
Me and Schweiss kept joking about it. It'd just be like Albert the Bert Slambert.
Yeah, it's like he just too many Berts. One of them had to go.
Yeah, we wanted him to marry Slambert's mom, and then just take her name, so he could just be Albert Slambert.
Yeah. But it wasn't meant to be. Slambert got slammed.
Albert Dilbert von Slambert.
Yeah, he just couldn't hold on. It was kind of a crappy scene, and I spoiled it for myself because I wanted to see what my party looked like at the end of the game, and I loaded up the
he
disc.
was gone.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, where's Slambert?" And I'm like, "Oh wait, I remember now. Slambert dies." Great. Like, I had no impact this time because I fucking forgot, and then was reminded immediately.
Well, the dude with the coolest name dies.
Yeah. So the game's already
In fact,
going.
a lot of characters in this game die.
Yeah. The game's already going downhill because of that. So there's also another part where you are on a boat and you get attacked by a ghost ship. And this is the only part. This and then the weird, like, did you see the throat thing in that final cutscene?
Yeah.
From Zeeg, where, like, he swallows, but he, like, goes back and forth a couple times?
Yeah, his Adam's apple freaks out.
Yeah. That I remembered from before, and then I remembered the ghost ship section of the game.
Yeah, the ghost ship section is, like, the only part that's good.
It's really good, too, I think.
Like, especially character-wise, because that's when you find out that, like, Rose as the black monster killed fucking Shannon's sister and shit.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And it's really dark because all the people... so, like, with the ghost ship, you find out Shanna's a lost princess, and it's a very impactful area because you kind of see the ghosts of these soldiers who fought and died to save the princess, and you kind of see them fail, and they are bound to the world. They're bound to continue trying to, like, reliving this over and over and over because of their failure. And I thought that was actually a really solid part of the game. Probably the best part, like, character, I guess, development-wise. I don't know if it's really developing Shanna as a character at all.
No, she never develops as a character at all. Nobody does.
Yeah.
Except for Slambert.
Yeah, pretty
and
much.
And then he dies. Dude, okay. Seriously, Slambert gets his, like, character arc, and then he dies, like, almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's a part where you, like, find and confront his father's killer, and then you're like, okay, cool. And then, like, 2 scenes later, he dies. And then you're like, well, fuck.
Did you do that? I thought you killed the guy who killed Albert's dad. Oh, no.
It was the dude who killed Slambert's dad.
Oh, that's right, yeah. His arc is just really fucking fast.
Yeah. Like, that should have been a fucking clue.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have his whole arc, and then he dies.
Yeah. Not great. So we get the whole stuff about the Yggdrasil tree, essentially, 108 fruits.
Yeah, everybody, you find out exactly what happened in the past.
Yeah, also the guy explaining that to us in that big city, he sounds like Batman to me. He's just like, yes, and then the 108 fruits came off the tree. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, he has a weird, deep voice.
So we learn about how the Winglies perished supposedly after the Dragoons freed the gods.
This is what I don't understand. This is something that happened 11,000 years ago.
Yeah.
How do they have the records of this?
I don't know, man. They wrote it down. I guess they've
This
had...
is like right after they were born.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I don't know.
How the fuck did this happen? How did they know it happened? This has always bothered me. That's 11,000 years.
Yeah, and that's when the world began.
We struggle to find stuff that happened 5,000 years ago.
Well, I guess they're just better at...
11,000 years of constantly being in the Middle Ages.
Yeah. That's the same problem I have with Game of Thrones, is they're like, oh, it's been, thousands of years ago, the Dark Knight came the first time. And it's like, really? We haven't advanced at all in thousands of years? Like, are you sure about that? This world has the same problem. I guess there's no evolution. All the species were just born. So they started out as, like, Homo sapiens. But, I mean, even then, we do have a lot of stuff that's missing.
Yeah.
Anywhere near 11,000 years ago. Like, 11,000 is like, oh my god, really? We found something that was 11,000 years old? Yeah, like, who the fuck has the shit written down? How do you know? Yeah, kind of dumb. So, in this, the other thing is, like, everyone thinks that the Winglies perished after the Dragoons freed the gods. And then humans
they,
began.
like, wiped out most of them.
Yeah.
Which is basically why Lloyd is a bad guy. He basically wants to bring peace between the Winglies and the humans.
Yeah.
So that they can live in harmony. Which is kind of an interesting reason to be a bad guy, but then he's lied to, of course, by Milbuframa.
Yeah.
So he gets used and then dies immediately after finding out.
Yeah, so the Moonchild's objective is to revive the gods on Earth. The black monster hates the gods, kills the Moonchild, and it kind of just repeats over and over and over.
Which doesn't really make any sense to me, because Rose is the black monster, and her only goal was to destroy the Moonchild, and the Moonchild just wants to be the god of destruction and destroy everything. But the Moonchild isn't necessarily evil.
Yeah, not necessarily.
But she just destroys it anyway.
Yeah, so we get Meru, who, I mean, I guess the Winglies are kind of similar to, I don't know, they're kind of like children of the forest kind of thing, or like...
They're basically elves.
Elves, yeah. And when you leave, you're kind of like, oh, well, you left, huh? And like everyone kind of shits on you, and you're mistrusted for leaving. And I guess they banished her because she left, was the whole thing, from her village. And... honestly, there's a ton of scenes in the game where Shayna gets possessed and just randomly walks to places. I do like the idea of the themes of like overcoming racial differences in the youth, like between the Winglies and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of talk of like, oh well, the old ways were, you know, Winglies against humans, and now Meru wants to kind of overcome that. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know. There's a lot of overcoming your hatreds in this game.
Yeah, a lot of this game though is just like in between, because like it doesn't explain anything like plot wise except for those few cutscenes where it's like, hey, this is what happened 11,000 years ago, and then like near the end of the game when you meet Emperor Daius, it's like, okay.
So, yeah, that's how do they even set up your characters without any backstory for them?
Literally, the entire game is basically character arcs.
Okay.
That's what it is. Like, it's really kind of annoying because, like, there's no plot progression until, like, the end of the game. It's like, hey, this is the setup to the world. Then later on, 40 hours later, it's like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get shit in between where it's, like, the thing we talked about where, like, the princess gets replaced by some thief who happened to, like, steal Dart's, like, Dragoon eye thing. So you have to, like, go get it back, and then you, like, magically get another Dragoon eye thing for one of the other characters.
That 11,000 years ago thing, and people still believe in all that, right? And they still reference it all the time?
Yeah.
You know, 11,000 years is a long time. It's surprising that they still even remember that's what the lore used to be.
Yeah, it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense to us.
Like, the fact that it hasn't changed at all is also very surprising.
Like, we're still, like, unsure what happened, you know, even just, like, anything longer than, you know, 500 years ago up to 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, no idea.
No one knows for sure. I mean, you can see what's written down and stuff, but it's just, like... us believing in the same thing for 11,000 years.
Yeah, that just doesn't...
Does that sound ridiculous? When you put it into human terms, like this day and age, having something like that religion or that lore, remain relevant for 11,000 years?
Yeah, it's unbelievable, is what it is. It's unbelievable. I mean,
yeah, we've had Christianity for, 2,000 years approximately, and that's changed how many times?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah,
I guess it does help that they keep having moon babies.
Yeah, I guess it reminds them. Everybody's reminded over and over. So Emperor Diaz is one of the characters in the game. He's obviously an emperor. He kind of believes that the world is rotting and they need to bring the 108th species about, which is the god of death. If you played Horizon Zero Dawn, it's essentially, what is it, like Omega? Or Hades program. It's just like that. It's exactly like that. Horizon Zero Dawn does a much better job with that idea.
And he's fucking lying too, and you find that out immediately because as soon as you find out who he is, then you know he's Milbu Frama, and his entire goal is to just fuse with the God of Destruction so he can have more power.
Yeah, no,
that's seriously his only goal.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing, though. It's before he's Frama, you learn that he's Zeed. Who's Dart's father, and there's a cutscene here where we see what happened with Zeed or Zieg and Rose, and like for some reason Rose's voice actress like just became super Swedish in this scene. Like it was, she had like a hardcore Swedish accent. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? Anyway,
Maybe she's just Swedish.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe all people were Swedish 11,000 years ago.
Maybe Sweden is the cradle of life and not Africa.
Yeah.
So there's one of the gods, the god Soa, kind of willed the destruction and rebirth of the world, and a lot of the people in the world follow this god. So this is like one of the big gods, the Soa, and they kind of view it as heresy almost to go against the will of this god to stop the rebirth of the world, including Diaz, who of course was Zieg, who of course is actually Melbuframa. It's like,
and the Winglies worship a different god, so
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
Why would he? I don't know.
It literally makes no sense.
Yeah, the Rose being the black monster, super obvious. Shanna being the moonchild, super obvious. There's another character that takes Rose's useless place in the story named Miranda. There's some dumb shit with her where it's like her mother beat her, I guess. So that happened in the game. I liked the whole like screw what the creator has in mind. We're gonna fight and survive, sort of a theme. I like that in these games. Like, you know, there's a big plan, but then they sort of go against it. And then of course all the stardust you've been collecting, you can actually turn it into this person named Martel, which I think is a girl. I don't know. It's impossible to tell. It's a name that doesn't make any sense. Martel, it's a last name, but you heal this daughter, Lil is her name, with the stardust. So that was kind of a okay moment that happened. You get like a Moses like sea parting to get to the city of Aglis, and where you learn about the psychedelic bomb, which is fueled by courage, is what they said. You had to do these trials to show your courage to fuel the psychedelic bomb. I was like, what are we doing?
Is it called the psychedelic bomb?
It is
in the
called
game?
the psychedelic bomb, and you get to use it as an item, and it's not really very good. I'm like, why did we spend time?
I was going to say, I mean, it does take some courage to find out what your trip is going to be like.
Yeah. They had a bunch of Q&A sessions that I thought were super tedious. They would like ask certain characters like, what is best in life? You know, it's basically that scene from Conan for each character, and you have to get it right. And it does that multiple times in the game.
Yeah, there's like multiple quiz type things.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
what
what?
happens if you answer the quizzes wrong?
It just makes you like do it again.
Yeah, it just
and
makes
get
you
the right answers.
fight 'em for
There's
a
no
second.
consequences.
Yeah, there's no dire
That's
consequence.
so stupid.
I know. That's why I was like, this is pointless because it's just tedious. It's just
And literally
tedious.
one of them, you just have to answer it in the way that that guy wants you to answer it. Like he's asking you your opinions about the war, and you have to like answer it with his opinions, so that he'll let you pass.
But that's just like your opinion, though.
Yeah. So there's another part where in that city where you get the psychedelic bomb, there's apparently the last Kraken. And Zieg takes over the last Kraken to destroy the Signet, which is kind of keeping everything together. But we fight him. And then here's the thing that really pisses me off. I was reading this guide, and the guide's like, go get this item before you go past this point or you're going to regret it. I don't think I would have really regretted it, but I went and got it anyway. When you go to old towns in this game, you have to switch back to the disc that town was first found on.
Really?
Yeah, so like I went back to one of the old towns to buy an item, and it's like, please insert disc 1. And I'm like, what? What? Like, all of the other PlayStation 1 games that I've ever played that have multiple discs, you never have to do that. It loads.
Do you have to go back to the old towns, though, in some of those?
Yeah, to go. No, yeah, you do, yeah. You can go back to any town you want in most of those games, and it's all there. The only stuff they add to the new disc is like the extra story shit.
Right.
Everything else is still there. It's like the baseline is there on every disc, and then there's a little bit more that's disc specific. But in this game, it's disc specific completely, which I thought was fucking mind boggling. There's a law factory in there. It's really bizarre. There's like robots that are walking around, and it's like this super bureaucratic place, and they like come up with these little proposals, and they have like judges like decide on the proposal whether or not it's going to be good or not. And it's like One of them is you can't use teleporters because you're not a wingly, and then you go submit a proposal to the law factory, and then you go through the process of like getting that law passed, and then you can use the teleporters to go around town. You have to do that twice. Fucking bureaucracy in a game, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Why do you gotta fucking do this to me? And then another thing I noticed in the game, I kind of like the Undead Lavitz fight when you fight Slambert again, because there's a part in the end of the game where he like is resurrected in some fucked up way. It really reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, there's a part where you kind of go to hell, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird area. And then of course, the enemy ends up his name actually is Zackwell, which I was really shaking my head at. Just like fucking these names are really bothering me. But then when you defeat Zackwell, who's kind of taking over Lavitz's body, you get like a real heart-to-heart with him and Dart, which really bothered me in this part because the gay love was not between Slambert and Dart. The gay love was between Slambert and Albert, the man he served his whole life. He died protecting. And he just bros out with Dart until he dies again. I thought that was really annoying in this game.
They just like became super best friends immediately.
And it's like he wasn't even that... They weren't that... like close, it didn't seem. They were just there.
I mean, there was that part where he like shows you his room.
Yeah, I guess. I guess we did see his room and we met his mom.
Yeah.
Who, of course, was one of the many people that was asking, like, so when are you going to fuck Shayna?
Yeah.
One of the many...
Yeah, she was... Oh, what did she say? It was like, how many babies are you going to have? Or something like that.
Yeah, like, I was like, God, this is so painful to just...
It's so fucking forced. It's, like, atrocious.
Yeah. Also, there's a scene here where it just seems like Rose is trying to get dicked by Dart. And she just wants to compare father and son. Because she was totally with his dad. Zeke takes the signet, which was holding up the moon. The moon falls, but it's stopped from hitting the earth by the giant tree, and then the monstrosities come forth. And then this is where we get like the JRPG kind of tropey thing, where each character has to overcome their past before they can move into the future. And of course, we started off with the character we care about the least, Miranda, who we just barely got, and she's a useless character. No addition, no added stuff. She just has a bow and shoots it once. Terrible. And we learned that her mother abandoned her because of her useless father. And the dialogue between Miranda and her mom in this scene, this like flashback, alternate reality scene, really piss poor. It does nothing to make me give a shit about the character.
Yeah, I mean, you just barely get her. You can't just throw, like, background character development immediately and expect you to care.
Yeah.
Like, you've had hours of stuff with other characters. Like, it's... and she is really useless.
Yeah, she is. Haschel's daughter, we learn about them, and she's super boring, generic, and an absolute stereotype, just like Shayna.
Yeah. So
there's nothing to gain from that. The Kongol and Dole was a really good one, and I think Dole is actually the best villain in this game. And we'll get into that a little bit later with the final chunk of...
The final act.
Yeah. No, I guess we can do it now. So, Dole, one of the things that Dole does is he's one of the guys that wants to bring on I think he's one of the guys that wants to bring on the...
He takes orders from Emperor DS, who is actually Zieg, who is actually Belframa.
So he's essentially Kain from Final Fantasy IV. He has kind of a tragic story. He initially started off, the earliest thing we know about him is he was saving the annihilation of the Gigantos race, and he and a couple of his buddies end up killing the guys who were just about to take out Kongol.
Yeah.
And so we kind of see that, and then we see his slow descent not really. We don't really see his descent into madness. What we see is descent, like going from there and doing great things, and then later being on Emperor Diaz's side and saying, "No, we should bring about, the cleansing of the world," because he saw all these horrible things and we're in his way. We fight him, we kill him, and it's over. But I think he's actually a pretty solid villain because he does show sides of. Good signs in him, and he just believed in this cause that was totally wrong.
The reason that Kongol helps him out is because he saved his life and stuff. And Kongol's kind of a simple-minded guy, and so he just follows whatever Dole says because he's the guy that saved him.
Yeah, and we fight Kongol before he joins our party in the game, and then we fight Dole and kill Dole. And so when we kill Dole, he's devastated because this is the guy who's basically his father figure. And shit like that. So I kind of like what they did with Dole in the game. He's the
Dole
one
and Kongol's part is honestly pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's honestly also one of the best translated or best written parts of the game.
Yeah.
There's no real cheese in that part.
Not really, no. There's that, and then the Albert part, I don't think there's much cheese either.
The Albert part?
It's so Albert in his Sergio section, which is where he comes from. So his father, Carlo, his big thing was that Albert's uncle killed his father, Carlo, which is a terrible, awful fucking name. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, he found out that his father overtaxed the people. The peeper. Yeah, you peepers are going to pay his whole life, and he's kind of been lied to, and he killed his brother. He was killed because he was weak, and he kind of did it to keep the fucking kingdom out of war, and so he needed to bring peace to Sergio, and so he killed Albert's father. And it's crazy because there's a part where he mentions in the end where Albert's uncle is that Dole? Is Dole his uncle? I think it is.
I honestly don't
one of the
remember.
king guys. They don't really go into that super well, but one of those guys is his uncle, and he reveals that Carlo just wanted to make his. He's he told his brother in his last moments make sure you keep the country and my son safe. So it was this big deal to Albert his whole life. He thought his uncle was a terrible person for killing his dad, and now he realizes his dad kind of sucked ass at being king and ruling.
Yeah.
And so he kind of comes to terms with that, which I thought that part was really solid too. That part and Kongol's part were good. The rest, yeah. So then we get Zieg. So Zieg's spirit leaves his body, and this is when we get the reveal that he's Melbu Frama, the leader of the Winglies. And apparently, as he petrified Zieg, as Zieg killed him, he transmigrated his soul.
Transmigrated?
This is what he said.
Dude, these are words that they use.
To the spirit of Zieg.
Yeah, that's not really in the cutscene at all either. It's really dumb.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Basically, he's I curse you. And then he turns to stone, and it's okay.
It's
but this is actually what I did. I didn't just turn him to stone.
Yeah, and then so this is when it tries to explain it, and it's not great. Lloyd shows up to kill the god, he shows up to kill Melbu Frama, gets fucking destroyed. And then Lloyd's Dragoon spirit joins Dart, because Dart's Dragoon spirit was taken from him by his father, who's the true holder of the red... the Red Eyes Red Dragon.
Red Eyes Red Dragon.
Dragoon of this fucking universe. And now he gets Lloyd's Dragoon spirit to take on...
Which is the Divine Dragon.
Melbu, yeah. There's it's broken up... The last fight's broken up into generations. I don't really get that. I was thinking maybe the days of creation or something like that, because there are 6.
That's kind of what it seemed like.
Yeah, it doesn't really explain any of that, though.
Yeah, because every time you kill a new form of Melbu Frama, he goes into the next generation.
Yeah, although he gets he only works 3 days a week according to this thing, because you only fight him in 3 phases. The other 3 he just has a day off.
Yeah,
I guess I was trying to really grasp at what that meant. That's really all I got out of it. Anyway,
because there was like no real evolution in the game either. So his like transformations and calling them generations didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah,
because it was literally, this is a creationist game, and he has an evolutionist fucking final form.
yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's fucking weird.
So maybe it's just creationists fighting the evolutionists.
Yeah,
it's like that's the whole subplot of the game.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that is. Fucking, I don't know. So the beast is defeated. Zeke gets his neck swallow thing. Rose meets up with him. Melbu dies loudly. Dart rescues Shayna. Melbu comes back for a second, and then Rose and Zeke join to destroy Melbu with like some ridiculous saxophone in the background. The music is just going. The music is going absolutely insane in this
I
part.
wish it was that song. It would be fucking sweet. Yeah, the whole that cutscene is really weird because like there's no real point for both of them to go because like he's already basically dead, and so they just join together to like stab him with the sword.
Yeah,
and then they explode in like the biggest fucking mushroom cloud of flame ever.
Let's watch some of this,
which makes no sense.
Let's watch some of this last cutscene here, just for Cameron's sake.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Turn it down just a touch. Shut up!
Oh man, one of the worst voice acting parts I think is in this. Maybe it's not this one. There's one where she's like getting hit by something and it sounds fucking awful.
I have been waiting for this moment.
The neck thing, see?
I kept you waiting so long.
Does it again. He's like,
sorry.
We don't know how to animate a fucking Adam's
He's fucking over there just dying for
it like protrudes like crazy.
They probably made him do like a swallow thing, but they forgot to put that in the English dub.
Inferior humans cannot outshine me, a god.
I just love this elevator music with this super powerful scene.
Yeah,
dude.
Ooh, now just turned a little Persia.
This is the end.
Not quite.
Of a long journey.
The dub is so bad.
Dude, the dub is really
Could
bad.
you come with me?
Yes. I will never leave you again.
Yes.
I'm laughing when this is happening the first time. That guy's just in a booth.
He's already dying.
He's in a
That's an
booth somewhere.
ejaculation.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, that was really bad. Everybody sounds like they're shitting.
No. That was him doing the epic jizz right there.
You have grown up.
What?
Father? I couldn't do anything for you.
Here it is.
Father. Please.
Yeah.
But Father.
That's a trumpet.
Dart, I'm so
Oh, yeah, totally.
It's like freaking out. It's all fucking sweet.
Father.
After being that weird, like, elevator
That is
music.
so weird.
I know, yeah.
Fucking pulls a 180.
It turns into Digimon Cyber Sleuth for a second there, just like the flying trumpets. Flying trumpet solo at the main menu. It's like, God damn it. Fuck. Yeah, so the game goes nuts in the last cutscene. Like, it just... Everything goes crazy. Everybody's dying. It's all terrible. Dart has daddy issues. We see him sacrifice themselves.
For no real reason, because Milbufram is literally already dying.
Yeah.
After he unleashes that huge attack, his fucking like body explodes.
Yeah. And then, like, once he dies, all the beasts that were coming out of the hive, out of the moon, start exploding and dying as well. And Rose and Zeke basically sacrifice themselves for kind kind of an unknown reason. And they die in the blast to save everybody. And then we get the JRPG World Tour at the end.
Yeah, where it shows everybody like moving on with their lives.
Yeah, Albert marries one of the princesses. Oh, the princess that was switched.
Yeah.
He's got a hard-on for her and unites the kingdoms. That was kind of something that they played on before. Dart reminisces on Lavitz and then reunites with Shauna in his home village. And then they play the ending song for the game, which I thought was actually pretty good.
There's also the part where Haschel was training Kongol, like, martial arts.
Oh, yeah.
And then he does, like, a backflip into or he, like, falls into the water.
Yeah.
Funny.
There's a bunch of little goofy moments that I didn't write down. I actually kind of liked the ending theme. I thought it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
To the game. And then at the very end, like, I don't get what the fuck happened, but, like, there were 2 seagulls that were, like, flying around, and then they, like, fly next to a red and a blackish, purplish, bluish orb. And it kind of shows that, like, it's Zeke and Rose.
Yeah.
But, like, they're seagulls? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that was.
It doesn't make any sense.
But
Nothing in this game makes any fucking sense.
There's just, like, 2 sacks.
I don't know
just
what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, there's just 2
but
sacks
I don't really care.
on this beach, and it's like, okay, I don't know. Anyway, my final time was 51 hours, 44 minutes, and 18 seconds. And that was it. I put the game back in its case. I put the case back.
You were done.
I had to move a game on the shelf to put the game with the other games in alphabetical order. And then I sat down and I said, great, now I can go to bed. And I went to bed. And it was magnificent. I didn't wake up in the middle of the night screaming at an imaginary intruder. I just slept.
What was the story about that?
So on our KupoCon trip, and you'll probably hear this on Ultima Final Fantasy if you listen to that as well.
I remember that. Yeah, actually, I think I remember getting roused around that time.
So the first night...
Aroused?
Yeah. The first night we were there was a moment where I, like, vaulted out of the bed. And I said something. I don't remember what I said, but I, like, vault out of bed. And, like, I get up, and then Joe's like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like,
I remember that now.
I was like, I don't know. I thought someone was in here or something. Like, I don't know. Super weird.
Yeah.
And then I think the second night I was too shit-faced to be a freak in the night. So it was because I went to sleep hammered. But the third night, dude, Joe says, from Joe's perspective... He wakes up to me being like, hey! I was like coming at Joe. And Joe was like, he's like, it's part of one of the scariest moments of my life. You're just fucking screaming at me in the middle of the night. And I'm like getting ready to defend myself because you're just fucking coming for me. And I remembered that.
Call me a cunt in my house.
Yeah, in my fucking house. And like, I remembered it the next morning and I was like, yeah, I didn't sleep very well last night. I kind of looked at Joe, waiting for him to, like, tell me that it had happened, because, like, I had some weird memory of just yelling, hey, a couple times in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't remember that last night, that happening.
You don't remember the hey thing?
No.
Oh, you must have been dead, dude.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just screaming at Joe, thinking there's, like, someone in the fucking room, and, like, Joe is that someone. I don't know what the fuck my problem is.
You know, it could just be Joe filling you up at night, and your just instincts kick in to protect you.
Yeah, maybe.
Except the night you were super drunk.
Yeah, that night I couldn't protect no one could save me from myself in the end.
It's just, Joe's word against yours.
Yeah, that's right. But it was funny because we had a chastity pillow is what I kept calling it. Like, the beds had these, like, tubular, like, pillows, and we had it, like, in between Joe and I. So we had our little chastity wall.
Yeah, did you have the sex mirror?
No sex mirror this time.
Oh, that's strange.
I know. That it was not as awesome as the last room. It was also not as big as the room last time, which was inconvenient. And we didn't get a third bed, so Joe and I had to fucking snuggle up. But yeah, so that happened. But not last night. Last night I slept like a baby.
Does that happen all the time? Does Alex tell you about stuff like that?
Yeah, I talk a lot. I have like conversations a lot, and there have been a few times where I've woken up like laughing. It's like something really, really funny happened in the dream, and I'm just
something's wrong with this guy.
I just like I just wake up and I wake up and I realize that I'm awake and I just chuckle a couple more times and just like, oh, man.
Whatever it was, I'm just keep laughing.
Yeah, whatever that was, it must have been real good. Because I don't remember it, but I'm still laughing.
Do you ever do the whole thing where you jump out of bed and shout?
There have been a few times where I've like gotten out of bed and like thought I heard something downstairs. But not...
There's no more Cam in the closet.
Yeah, no more Cameron, so whatever noises are happening are actually happening. Or it's just in my head. I don't actually know. I mean, no one's ever been in the house when I've done my nightly searches naked. Fucking just coming downstairs.
So I think that first night, I think I remember it, but I remember just hearing you say something, and I kind of like was waking up, and then Joe just like I thought Joe was just you and Joe were just talking. I didn't realize that you had just woken up all of a sudden. I thought you guys were talking about something.
No, yeah, I just fucking woke up instantly in the middle of the night and was like freaking out. Because I heard another door close, I think, and I thought it was ours, and I thought someone was in there.
Yeah,
like,
those fucking
the doors.
The doors in this hotel, dude. They could be down the fucking hall, and all I have to do is let the door closed, and the whole fucking thing slams, and the whole wall just shakes.
Yeah, it's loud. It's fucking loud. Yeah. So that's probably what happened. Most likely both times.
Your 1911 from under your pillow. Hey.
Yeah.
Joe really freaking out.
Yeah, really shitting his pants. I have done that though. I woke up one night.
Maybe Joe shared the bed with the wrong person.
Maybe.
Except there would have not been any room for us to be comfortable.
No, there's basically anyone with Cameron. There's not enough room. I saw Cameron lay on the bed, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to work.
It's just a full-size bed. I'm probably just as wide as the bed is with my shoulders.
Yeah, it's not going to work out. But yeah, I thought that was a really funny thing that had happened while we were on our trip. But it was very terrifying for Joe, apparently.
I slept great.
Yeah, other than that, I slept great. Although whenever anything like that happens to me, I feel like I didn't sleep at all. Like whenever I have like sleepwalking or wake up a bunch or like
how does that work? Do you let your new baby sleep in the bed with you guys sometimes?
Yeah, he sleeps in the bed with us almost every night.
Huh.
The only time that it's ever a danger, the only time it's ever a danger is when I drink a lot, because then I'm almost laying on him sometimes. So I'm like smothering him to death. But that's it. I don't like freak out and like throw the child. Hey! That's fucking... Nothing crazy's happened with the child, so...
You kind of come to and you're just holding like the little fucking onesie.
Yeah, like, where is he? Where's the baby?
Someone took our baby. I knew I'm not crazy.
I swear to God it wasn't me. Yeah.
Dark.
Blood all over me.
Maybe
like, where's my son?
Maybe he should reside in a crib from now on.
Yeah, maybe if I'm unstable. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me, but that's something that's happened like my whole life. I used to do sleepwalking and stuff like that a lot. Not safe. Very bad.
For me, I'll have the exact opposite, where I will wake up before my body's awake, and so I just lay there and can't fucking move for like a solid minute and a half.
So you walk sleep. Is that what it is instead of sleepwalk? Your mind is awake, but your body won't.
Yeah.
So you body sleep. That's what it is. You body sleep.
Yeah,
it's your body.
Yeah. It's just that sometimes my brain will just it does the thing to prevent from happening the same thing that happens to you, so you don't act out your dreams. Except for you do anyways.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like it either happens too soon, where I'm still awake when it happens, or it happens when I'm waking up but I can't move.
Yeah. There are a few times where I've remembered it. Like there was one where it was like some massive attack that was happening, and I said something like, people are getting fucked up in here. Like I woke up as I was saying it, and I like totally remembered what was happening.
When was that?
It was like months ago.
Okay, what did Alex wake up to
that? Yeah, she asked me about it the next day, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like there was someone like with a knife, and people were just getting fucking shredded in this place. It's like, dude, people are getting fucked up in there.
Man, we need to sit Alex down and have her relate her. We need to sit Alex down and have her relate her side of these things. Can you imagine just waking up? Man, people are getting fucked up in here.
Schweiss is dreaming out Freddy Krueger, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?"
Yeah. I have thought about doing that, like a dreams podcast with Alex. It's like where we come up with like a movie pitch idea based on the weird dreams that we have. Because she had a dream and she said like it was the most terrifying thing ever, and it was like a monster that was chasing her, but it was made out of canned foods. It was just like a bunch of canned foods put together into this creature that would follow her around and like try to murder her, and I was dying when I fucking heard that.
Do you ever have one of those reoccurring dreams?
Yeah.
I have one of those that are not so fun to have, but I can notice now when I'm having them, so I can stop it.
You can like wake up.
Yeah.
I've been able to do that. I've also been able to like go back to sleep and resume. It's like press pause.
Just the other day. So this is real weird. This is like akin to my brain going to sleep. Or my body going to sleep before my brain does, but I was actually asleep, but I thought it was happening in my dream. And so what happened was I'm like, shit, I can't move again, just need to wake up. And like things were happening that made sense because it was a dream, but I forced myself awake from the dream to only realize I really wasn't fucking awake yet, and now I had forced myself into that exact state I was dreaming about.
Yeah, that happened when I pissed myself one time. Because I was in the bathroom, and I was dreaming about being in the bathroom, and it was very visual, very vivid. And then I only realized that it wasn't the dream when I realized I was pissing all over myself instead of into the porcelain god before me.
Yeah, so I was dreaming about being in that position to the only like wake up and actually being in that position.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get up for like a solid minute.
That's crazy what our bodies do to us.
One time that was happening, and then I just try to focus on doing anything because like the more I focus on like trying to move my hand and stuff, the faster it works. But sometimes I'll like kind of like move my hand a little bit, then I can't again for a minute. And then one time I had actually pulled myself halfway out of bed before I couldn't move anymore, and I had stayed there for like a minute until I could finally snap out of it and be awake.
Yeah, you got weird shit going on with you. You just like fucking outer body experiences and shit. Like, do you meditate so you can do that? Like,
no.
Like get your roommate to put a note.
It's not a fun feeling being awake and not being able to move.
Get your roommate to put a note in a book on the counter, and like you have to recite what the note says the next morning, and it's completely out of body. I wonder how much of that is sleepwalking. Like, I'm having an outer body experience, and it's like, no, your body is
having an out of mind.
An out of mind experience. You don't feel like you're there, but you are there.
No, I can't. I don't know why I can't think of the term for it right now, but it's an actual medical thing where your brain paralyzes the body, so it doesn't act out as dreams. But for some people, it can happen while they're still technically awake.
Yeah, Joe was telling me I should probably find out what kind of vitamins I should take, or like some med, because he said people who sleepwalk a lot are missing something in their brains, or like some chemicals not being produced enough.
Well, it's that thing that paralyzes you.
Yeah, I don't get paralyzed. See, my whole life has been about trying to stay alive, right? I've got like super deep set eyes, so if anybody tried to cut me across the face, not going to go blind. Going to still have my shitty 20/40 vision until I die. I got fatter. I had really veiny arms. I got fatter so that the veins would be protected by the fat. Unkillable there. I'm dry skinned, so if I get struck by lightning or I'm electrocuted, I have a much higher chance of surviving because my body doesn't conduct electricity like everyone else's does.
Well, if you have dry skin, then lightning would set you on fire.
I get shocked at least 3 or 4 times a day at my computer.
It's not so much the catching fire that kills you as it is just the electricity shutting you off.
It's if the current passes through your heart, that's what disrupts your normal heartbeat.
It could stop it, or just like alter the beat, because like the whole
in irregular rhythm, it'll still be a heart attack.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what the little things you rub together, whatever the fuck those are, defibrillators. Those stop your heart,
so it can
kind of reset. Yeah, it's holding that power button in on the computer. There was one time though, I know this is not anything about Legend of Dragoon, but the the sidetrack must go on, where I was fucking around with the AC when it wasn't working, and I had everything unplugged. It was all like everything was off, no power. But there's some part in there, I can't remember what the guy said it was, but it holds all of the electrical charge to start it back up.
Inside the TV, yeah.
But it was in the AC.
Okay.
And I touched it, and it fucking, dude, that thing lit me up. I was just like, holy shit! And I was like, oh, God. Whew. I went back inside, and I was like, damn, that was a lot of fucking electricity.
Yep.
And then the guy shows up later on, and I'm like out there watching him repair it. He's like, oh, hey, you see that little tube thing there? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, don't ever touch that. That could kill you. I was like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah, this stores a whole charge of like X amount of voltage in there, and he's like, it could just kill a grown man. I'm like, oh, that's good to know. I guess I won't be touching that anytime soon. Like, no wonder earlier I like fucking everything puckered up, and I was like, woo! I touched that fucking thing with the side of my hand. It's because it fucking tried to kill me. But that dry skin kept me alive, Greg. Can't break the surface. All I could do was fry my hand. Yeah, it's all about staying alive. Except for that chemical that will make me potentially kill someone.
Or kill yourself by walking out in traffic or something like that.
Yeah, or when I was a little kid, I tried to walk out in a blizzard, I guess.
Yep.
That probably would have killed me.
Probably.
There's a good chance I wasn't coming back from that. But anyway, the story and plot of Legend of Dragoon, overall, I do like... I like the story, the overall story, the whole like overcoming
the arcing story.
Yeah, the overarching story. I like the overcoming the God Soa's plan to kind of reset the Earth, because the plan makes sense. Because a lot of species have done a lot of damage to each other. They've killed off almost an entire species, and this is like a big reset button on it. And I like that. It makes sense that they would want to do that. And it also makes sense that you'd want to fight against that, because that means you are going to be annihilated. It's similar to like the Thanos thing. Like, if they don't eliminate half the people, we'll all die. But it's like, that's not the right way to go about it, so you fight it, right? That's kind of the overarching story. I like the stuff with the Dragoons. I like the stuff with the Black Monster, and like the sacrifice that has to come every 100 years or whatever it is, 108 years. That stuff was good. The bad stuff...
Is everything between?
Kind of everything between, yeah. Most of the characters are really bland. Like, Shayna is so boring that I was 3/4 of the way done with the game, and I couldn't tell you what her name was. I just couldn't. It's because I don't care about her. She's a super generic, very submissive Japanese character that has nothing going for her other than the fact that she's the chosen one. She's not the chosen one like
and
in...
it shows like really fucking early on too. Like, you fight one of the bosses and she like magically makes it disappear.
Yeah, you can tell she's the thing. So there's no real build for her. Whereas like in Final Fantasy X, a game that came out a year later, or not even a year later, we have Yuna, who has she's a much stronger character. She has a goal. She changes throughout time. She acknowledges that her goal is not the right goal. It's not the thing she thought she wanted her whole life, and she goes in a different direction in the very end and kind of throws everything she's done under the rug. Shayna in this game is just kind of along for the ride and is a really boring character. Haschel's a boring character. Kongol's an okay character. Slambert was great.
A lot of the characters are there for convenience, and Slambert is literally the only one with any character arc.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking like Dart kind of has it with Zeeg, but like they don't really interact until like the last cutscene where he's like, "I wish I could have been a better father," and then he dies.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so there's like, almost
seriously, fucking Slambert gets the whole thing with this fucking. He confronts the dude who like killed his dad, and then he dies saving his king.
Yeah, his is great. Like and
he's the coolest name, and he's the coolest character. Like, they were just like, yeah, this fucking character, we can't top his actions, so everyone else is just gonna suck.
Yeah, that's honestly how I felt about most of the story. I think overall it's good and it's interesting, but the execution of the characters and the execution of...
You know, I see a lot of people that like Rose, but like even Rose is just kind of like... really passive for me. Like, I mean, she's the black monster, the thing that's like going around killing the moon child every 108 years. But it's like Shanna is the Moonchild, but she's not evil. She's not trying to do anything evil. Like, as she could have just protected all the Moon children instead of just mercilessly slaughtering them in their towns.
Yeah, like maybe there's something.
She killed an entire, like, that ghost ship. She killed like hundreds of people to kill someone she thought was the Moonchild.
Yeah.
She slaughtered a bunch of innocent people, and they're like, hey, we're friends still.
Yeah, and it turned out to be the Moonchild's sister.
Yeah.
Shannon's
and it wasn't
sister.
even who she thought it was.
That's another thing that I thought was really annoying, is like almost everyone in this fucking game is related.
Yeah.
The main bad guy is your dad.
Everyone is connected, yeah, in some stupid way.
Haschel's sister is the main guy's...
Haschel's daughter is
your guy's mom.
Yeah.
There's that. Meru's not connected. Kongol's not really connected. But like, I was like, this is too convenient.
The fucking kingdom that Shanna was supposed to rule was the same place where Haschel and Claire were living before she got kicked out.
Yeah.
And then, which is like the same places where like her and Zieg had Dart and Neat, which is why like that's where they were when they got destroyed by the Black Monster, because she was looking for Shanna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
like,
just
everything is like too neatly placed, neatly connected,
and it doesn't really matter because they don't play off of that at all. When Haschel figures it out, you don't hear another word about it.
Yeah, they don't really say anything.
Yeah, there's nothing. They're
like, hey, I'm your grandpa.
No heart to heart. I don't even know if he tells him. I don't remember him telling him. I remember him being like,
either.
Wait a minute. All right.
Your mom's name is the same as my daughter's name.
And then he's like, oh my God, it's the same one. And then he doesn't say a fucking word. Nothing. Yeah. Lips are tied. Like, it just doesn't make sense. There's no payoff. It's all just
Lips are tied.
Set up. Yeah.
That's right.
Lips are tied.
Zip tie.
It's just...
Zippers are pursed.
Lips are sealed versus tongue is tied.
Yeah. Tongue is sealed. I don't know, Craig. What are you gonna give story overall for The Legend of Dragoon?
I don't know. This is actually the hardest section. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot because, like, I do like the idea of the overarching story. I mean, it's very like standard RPG, but at the same time, like, you know, that works. That's why like every JRPG is like that,
right?
But everything in between, like, they don't do enough with that story. They're like, hey, this is what happened 11,000 years ago. Now the entire 40 hours you play up until the last like 10 hours is going to be nothing but character arcs that are way too convenient and forced.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I give it like maybe a 6.
You know, I was thinking 6 too. There's like, a lot of...
It serves, but it's too long. Like, there's too much...
Yeah, there's too much nothing.
Yeah, it's too much nothing until you get like the actual story. I've been playing too many games like that lately.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that seems like it would be really good, like the Lavitz in his final moments, but then they blow it and he talks to Dart for like 5 minutes and then he dies.
He does nothing with Albert, who is his best friend and possible gay lover.
It's his gay lover best friend from childhood, and like he has no words for him really. It's just all
He's
main
like,
character.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Dart, who I met, for like 3 days.
Yeah, there's so many missed opportunities that could have made this much more impactful of a scene, and it just kind of wasn't. It sort of fell flat because of that. And that should have been the best scene in the final area. That should have been the one that was like, oh man, this is really good, but it just wasn't.
Yeah.
So I again, like Craig said, I like the overall idea of the story. I like the themes, and I like where at point A, point B, point C, but everything in between is just not very good.
I feel like maybe a lot of it could be translation too. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, the translation is
because the translation is absolutely awful. Like literally every character is saying like a forced phrase for Dart and Shanna to get together. Like the whole "how many babies you gonna have" thing. Like that's constant. That's the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop. Like every single character is like that. It's
like you guys fucking. Like
that's
no,
why.
How come you guys aren't fucking? It's like I don't know. We just fucking.
Yeah,
aren't,
he
man.
has literally no interest, and they're like, "Yeah, we know how you feel, Shanna. we're gonna try and get you guys together by constantly asking him when you guys are gonna fuck.
Yeah, until you finally just like, all right, you know what? We're gonna fuck right now. Then you just go do it.
Yeah, and then the ending of the game is he just puts his arm around her.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go fuck. It's like, really, 50 hours and now you're finally gonna go fuck? Missed opportunities, and you're right, it is just too long. There's just too much that doesn't matter in the story. It's
even parts that feel like maybe something's gonna happen, like where he goes and he meets Lloyd in the world's strongest swordsman contest and whatever.
Yeah.
Like nothing really happens there. He's like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is Lloyd.
Yeah, and then Lloyd kicks your ass.
He kicks your ass and then he just fucking leaves.
Such a random name. Like, someone's uncle is named Lloyd.
Yeah, not the main bad guy, not the perceived baddie for 3/4 of the game.
Still, like, just fucking Lloyd. Doesn't inspire fear.
Fucking Lloyd, man. Lloyd's just an asshole. He's always better than me. Yeah, it's the rival in Pokemon. It's the Lloyd. He just always kicks your ass until he gets slammed. He's speared through in the end and dies like a bitch in front of you, and you take his Dragoon from him like a fucking OG thief. Not that you take it from him, it like chooses. That's another thing that's weird. It's like the Dragoon power like just chooses. And it makes it seem like it's a big deal, but really if you're next to someone who dies, it's just going to choose the guy that's the most similar to the person that just died.
Yeah.
And that's what it does every time. And it's almost like a Harry Potter, the wand chooses the wizard thing. Except it's not.
Because, like, when fucking Lavitz dies, his Dragoon power goes to Albert, who is very similar.
Yeah, which you understand because the guys probably docked together at least half 100 times.
Yeah. Well, like, they're best friends. Lavitz is the one who trained him in fucking, like, spearing. With the spear and
combat.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, who else was it going to go to? Fucking Shanna?
Yeah. It's just, a lot of that is just kind of dumb. Anyway, let's get to the thing I remember the most about this game, other than the neck thing and the fucking ghost ship.
Thing.
The gameplay. The gameplay's very similar to most RPGs. It's a turn-based system. There are speed stats. There are items you can take to get rid of certain, I guess, debuffs to your character.
Yeah.
You have move sets, items. You can fully equip, fully customize your character's armor and shit like that. It's pretty standard fare when it comes to all of that. You find spells, you find abilities, you unlock them as you go.
One of the interesting things is there's no real magic in this game. It's entirely item-based, except for when you're in Dragoon form.
Yeah, like you physically purchase magic tomes or like magic items that you use.
Yeah, it's basically just like items that become spells.
It kind of reminds me of FF15, how they handle magic.
Yeah,
where
it's
you
a
just
little bit like that. Where
have
you
it in
just
your
like
hand and you
throw
just throw
something
it.
that's like a bomb or something, and it just like does stuff.
Yeah. The magic is kind of lame in the game. Honestly, it doesn't do enough damage.
There's some
the
that are pretty
psychedelic
good.
bomb is okay, but you can only use it once per fight, so can't get too psychedelic.
The coolest part of the gameplay is the fact that it's pretty interactive for a turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
So basically how it works is with items and your additions, you have to like press buttons in order to like interact with it so that it keeps going.
Right.
Like with the magic, you have to press X as many times as you can to get the build up so that it can get up to like the max is like 268%, which is a really
How the fuck is that the max?
I don't know. It's the weird. And the highest I ever got to was like 240.
You got to 240?
Yeah.
How? I got to like 196.
I don't know, dude. It's fucking.
God, am I just getting
disgusting.
old? Fuck, dude.
It's fucking Pokemon, man. Pressing A like a shitload. But,
anyway, we have that.
So you have to like build it up so that it does extra damage, which is another cool thing. Is like damage is based on percentages.
Yeah, and the additions that Caleb mentioned. So you have your basic attack. It's your turn. You want to attack the enemy. You press X.
Yeah. Instead of just whacking somebody like one time, like it is for every other turn-based RPG, it's an actual kind of predetermined move where you hit it a bunch of times depending on how many additions you have.
Right, and each addition gives you has like different primary objectives. So some editions will give you more SP, which is like your Dragoon, your limit break, essentially, in the game, where you could go Dragoon form and you take less damage and you have a bunch of spells at your
you're building up the limit break meter, basically. With it.
So there's some that do less damage but build that up faster. There's some that do way more damage
but build up like really small amounts of
yeah,
SP.
really small amounts of SP. I was always damage
Yeah.
to the max. Like,
Dragoon
fuck the SP.
form is kind of...
I didn't use it that
weak.
much. Yeah, it doesn't do much physical damage because you don't have the additions.
It kind of trades off damage for being more durable. So
Oh,
you're
it's-
like you're
yeah.
you're tanky as fuck while it happens, and it gives you magic, but your magic kind of sucks ass.
It kind of does until very late.
And the magic in attacking in Dragoon form is really weird. Like it still makes you press the buttons for them, but it's like they change it up, and it's like way different from doing the additions, just regular magic. Like one of them is like, I think for Dart is like a timing based one where you have to like press the button like before it gets to the end of the meter.
Yeah, that's just his basic attack.
Yeah, and it's just like other shit like that. It's just it kind of throws off the flow of the rest of the moves.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. It's like a weird little dial that spins, and you have to press X right when it gets to the top, and then it goes over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of timing in this game. The one thing I love the most about it, though, are the additions, for sure. Because these unlock as you get certain parts in the story. I feel like that happens one or two times. Certain overall levels, and then when you raise your additions, your previous additions to their max level, you unlock new ones oftentimes.
Yeah, when you have certain additions at certain levels, then you get new ones.
Yeah, and that reminds me a lot of what I loved about FF9, where you have certain things that you equip, certain magics that you equip to your character. Or no, it was items in 9. 6 was the magics,
items.
the summons one. And you have that item equipped, and yeah, you got a better item just barely, but if you keep this item on for the next 20 minutes, you'll get this ability unlocked permanently. Yeah, so you get to like you utilize these older ways to get better shit down the road. And I didn't know how the additions worked until the end of disc 3. I had like no idea. Yeah, I'm like, I don't get this. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, these ones are low leveled. I'm going to level these up and see what happens. And I think it's like an overall level, like an average level. When you hit that, it'll unlock the next one. And sometimes that average level is 5 out of 5. Other times it's like maybe 4.5, so you don't have to have all of them maxed, but if you have like 3 of them maxed and one of them up to like 3.
I think it depends on which ones are maxed or which ones are leveled up at a certain point.
Yeah, it totally does. It felt random because you're right, it depends on like 5 different things.
The game also doesn't explain any of this.
No.
Or the Dragoons.
No, it doesn't explain
or
the
literally
timing.
anything about the game.
The timing minigame. Craig comes over, I'm on like disc 2, and I'm like, Craig, do you know what I'm supposed to do right here? And I just like press X and it like goes to the top, and then it's like miss, and then he attacks once. I'm like, I don't know. I tried to press X like when I got to the edge of this little meter looking thing, and it gave me one hit. I tried to press X.
Honestly, I
immediately.
avoided using Dragoons unless it was for magic.
Yeah.
Isn't that something that they'll usually
kind of like a
cover
waste.
in like the little booklets that come in the front of the games?
It doesn't. I looked, man.
So did you look online to see how to do it?
No,
they
I
vaguely
didn't.
explain.
I
like,
just
the
figured it
additions,
out.
but like not really.
I just waited until I got to the top one time, and I pressed X, and I was like, oh my god, I got another one. And then I knew.
Yeah, it's literally just a timing thing before like it gets to like the stopper line.
Yeah.
It's really dumb.
And so is the addition thing. And the additions I love a lot because it's just you just fucking hacking your way through, and every time your character does like a thrust.
So it's like a timing thing based on like it'll tell you to press X at a certain time, so you have to like watch the little gray bar or the square bars right as they get onto it, so you like press it so you can get it perfect.
Yeah, it's like a minimizing square bar that's also spinning, and you have to press X right when it lands in the middle.
Yeah, and you have to do it as many times as you have addition attacks. So if you have one that's like set at 3, then you have to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
And then enemies will have a chance to like
So
counter you while you're doing it.
I think I said this before. It's just like quick time events in a RPG.
Kind of,
Yeah.
but it's like the same button every time.
Except
So it's
when the enemy gets a chance to
So it
counter.
doesn't throw you off. Yeah, so an enemy can get a chance to counter if you have more than like 2 additions.
Yeah.
And so it'll switch to like circle,
Circle,
as an
yeah.
attack instead.
And that really fucks you up sometimes because
Yeah,
the
when that
spear guy,
first started happening, I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
the spear guy.
Another button?
Because it doesn't explain it at all. It's just like
No, you just got to guess. You just have to look and
literally,
see.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what is? Why why is this different? And then it's like, okay, he's countering now. Okay.
Yeah. But there's one guy, his best move, the Slambert, his gay buddy Albert, his move, it's like there's one where almost every time it'll counter right before there's a really, really, really fast
Section.
X button right after. So, like, I'll counter, and then the fucking square for the next one is already, like, right there. And then, like, it gives you, like, half a second where it shows you fuck their counter over, and then, like, the screen pops back on, and then the fucking square is like...
Yeah, so the thing
so you
about...
gotta pound it, like, immediately after that little mini cutscene ends.
So the thing about the additions
fucked
is
up,
that they
dude.
have different timings between the different buttons. So, like, you have to guess, like,
Yeah.
and each time you get a new edition,
And
like,
you can...
as you
I
do
got
it.
them, most of them memorized, like, just the pattern. It's like, da, 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 da.
I cannot do roses.
But when they throw in a fucking
can't do
circle, it just fucks all of the timing, like the memorization, the muscle memory for this move. It's just gone, and then it turns into like you just fucking like pounding it, like the millisecond that fucking screen shows up again, because it's like it ends and it's like just barely not inside the thing.
It barely throws off the thing, so you have to do it like immediately.
Yeah, and then you're like
fucking
you're
disgusting.
thrown off for the last couple smacks, so you fuck that up, and it's like, God damn it, man, it's so fucking
There
hard.
is an item that you can get that makes it so they can't counter you, but it like does less damage.
There's also one that makes it so that you max out. You get the max edition every time without having to do it.
Yeah, but it gives you no SP.
Yeah, so I'm
which
like,
is honestly decent because you don't need the Dragoon form.
not really.
So
yeah.
it's like the ultimate thing is like you don't have to do anything. They'll just like
Yeah, that
fuck with
sounds
a
like-
max edition.
No, why you fucking around with SP?
autopilot mode is what that sounds like.
Yeah, and so like okay, and the other thing with editions is that you level them up.
Just gotta do it
and
myself,
so
bro. It's a pride thing.
the editions have a percentage. So like if you have so your basic attack like at the beginning of the game will do like 7 damage if you miss the addition thing.
Yeah.
But if you actually hit it, then it does like 12 damage.
Yeah.
And it's because like the additions are based on a percentage. It'll do like more damage like on top of whatever your basic attack is.
Right.
And the more you level it up, the more percentage, the higher the percentage goes.
So the additions basically the damage will keep increasing as you level up as a character because that base attack goes up. It's everything in this game is like mathematically based, and it's kind of awesome for that.
Yeah.
Because it makes it so that it's worth it to max out your addition. Even though I have the best one unlocked, it's worth it to get it to that next point because it goes from 450% of my base attack to 500% of my base if I hit them all right. So like
Yeah.
I start doing like 1,300
and that's
damage.
why if you get really good at the game, then you don't need to grind at all because
No.
like all the extra damage and stuff you'd get from grinding is already there in the additions.
Yeah, and that's why I beat the shit out of the game the first time. And this time I took fucking way longer, but I didn't lose to the final boss, so I guess I made up for that. But like it's a game, it's one of those ones, it's kind of like FF13 where except for FF13 like refuses to let you grind at times. It's like, no, you're locked into this spot, and if you can't beat it, you're
until
just
you
shit.
until you get to Grand Pulse, you have like limits.
Yeah. So I like it because it makes you have to be good at the game if you want to beat it in any reasonable amount of fucking time. Because
Yeah.
the fucking longest thing in this game, it's not the bullshit stories that we have. It's the fucking battle animation. God,
Yeah.
getting into a battle, like the screen just like...
Yeah, it takes like 10 seconds to get into the battle because it like has to do the screen breakdown thing.
Yeah, that every
and then,
RPG
And then it
does.
has to do the field show off to let you know which kind of enemies are on the field. And then it's like, okay, now you can do stuff.
It is so slow. And this is one of the things in Digimon that
I was
made me
gonna ask you how it
irate.
compares to Digimon.
It's slightly faster than Digimon just because like the animations for attacks are way fucking faster, but
Yeah.
the animation of getting into the battle are about the same.
It's so fucking long. And like if you want to grind, the game is a dick
The
when it
game
comes to
is
XP.
literally anti-grind for those two, for
Yeah.
2 reasons. One is because of how long it takes to get into a battle because of the whole fucking animation thing.
And it's got to show off
And
the graphics too.
and yeah,
It's like,
and-
here's the bad guys.
And the
Here's
second
your
thing
guys.
is the fact that it like has a step
fight.
It has a step counter until you like actually get into a battle. And
Yeah.
it lets you know how close you are to getting into a battle
Which makes no real world sense, but whatever.
Yeah, it's just an indicator, and I think you can buy an item that like makes it so it takes longer, and another one that makes it take like half as long.
Yeah, but the thing is they don't give you shit for XP in this game.
Yeah.
The fucking random battles, you don't level up from that.
All your leveling up comes from fighting the bosses.
Yeah, this
game is basically a boss rush.
This
mode.
is a fucking boss rush orgy. There's so many fucking bosses in this fucking game, dude.
I think that's half the reason they made it as long as it is, and why like they don't put any story progression in this game is because like they're like, you know what, a normal RPG will have like let's say 25 bosses, and this one
arc and
this one will do like 80.
Yeah. And each one, like, dude, when you beat the second to last boss, I leveled up like 4 times. I'm like, 4 levels? If I wanted to grind that out, that would take me like 10 hours. Because I gotta fucking wait for them to showcase the boss, or the enemy showcase my guy, and then I can fight, and then I have to run around like a fucking asshole until I run into another random fight, and then wait for the screen to fuck up all the way, and then it slowly comes from black, and then shows those guys, shows my guys, pans out, and then I can fucking slaughter them. It's so slow, dude. Digimon, after Digimon and then moving into this, I was just like, oh god!
The sick thing is, it
My
took us like 50 hours to beat this, and like I guess the speed run time is like 9 hours and like 40 something minutes.
No,
How?
it's not that fast.
It was something like that. It was fucking fast. It was like a fifth the time that we took to beat this fucking game.
10:53 is the one I see. 10:29, so 10 hours. Yeah, so
that's
a fifth of it.
of your time.
Yeah.
How?
I don't fucking know,
I
man.
guess because like, well, I did put some time in to grind because I wanted some SP to level up my dragoons. Because so the leveling up the dragoons is a fucking hidden stat. So the SP is what you get to build up your limit break so you can turn into a dragoon, but it's also what you'd use to level up your dragoon in the first place. But it doesn't fucking tell you that, and there's no place to look at how much you need to level up your dragoon.
Yeah. A lot of the time that I gained was one of the
Leveling up all the additions.
No, most of it was that city.
Which
the
one?
city, the fucking the anthill city, where every building went into the other building. Dude, I swear to God.
And everything looks the fucking same.
It took me like 2 hours to find out where the fuck Shayna was resting at. I was like, where is she? And then I looked online, I'm like, I Googled, where the fuck is Shayna, Legend of Dragoon, and nothing happened. Like, that's the beauty of Dark Souls. When you Google, why is this part so fucking hard? Why is Temple of blah, blah, blah such a cunt? You find a fucking Reddit article that says that exact thing. Although, unfortunately, all it is, I loved that area, or that was my favorite area of the game. There's no help there. But there's nothing on this fucking game, man. And, like, the speed run, like, the thing I was looking at, it just fucking, the guy stopped for the day, and then he, like, came back with Shanna, and I'm like, no! Where the fuck is she? It's just a fucking, it's an anthill. Like, there's, like, 30 different entrances to this one building, and, like, you gotta go out certain ones and then go in the ones that you access by going out that one to, like, get to this guy who's got a shop, and then you have to fucking go backwards, run across the rooftop. There's a fucking lady that's like, don't run on the roof, and I'm like, fuck you, man. I didn't know I was gonna be on the roof, and then you gotta, like, fucking swirl your way back down, and then she was in the door that was the only one that was colored differently. But I was like, that's where I came from, that's not the right one. But it fucking wasn't. It was where I came from because
wait, is that that's the part where she gets sick after Freybrand, right?
Yes. Oh,
how come all these
fuck.
old RPGs have to have like one of the areas is like a teleport area? We have to get like the correct doors just right in order to progress. Why do they do that?
I don't know, dude. And like, I
Pokemon
can't.
did that with the fucking
this-
trash cans.
Yeah, it did with the Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's like they have
fucking
to have
do it.
that same type of mechanic in all the RPGs.
Something
It's
to
a
piss
weird
you off.
puzzle thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not a. It's
It
not
was.
a puzzle
It was
thing.
in Pokemon.
It's a fuck off thing.
It was in Pokemon because
Yeah.
they tell you exactly where it is if you talk to the dudes.
No, they don't. Not the one I played.
All the ones.
And then it changes randomly every time. If you once you fail it and try again, it's changed from the pattern. So you can't use the process of elimination to get it.
Yeah.
That's yeah. They tell you where it is in the Pokemon games. Anyway,
Cameron doesn't want to have any of that.
yeah, dude, that fucking part.
Yeah,
I hated that whole thing too. Like, she gets poisoned, but somehow it only affects her mind, and then the fucking doctor that they take her to can't fucking do anything.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I already know that I can't do shit about this. It's like, yeah, you're just gonna have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it turns out all you need to do is make her a dragoon, because somehow that will fix it.
Yeah. She just needed that D, man. She just needed the D. The Dragoon D.
The Dart D.
Yeah. That was really frustrating. So there are a couple areas in this game that I hate, and that's one of them.
You know, all the towns have that kind of problem. I remember getting lost in quite a few of the towns because they're like layered in such a weird way.
Yeah, and the camera angles do you no favors, and like, yeah, I don't like the town layouts overall. Yeah, I don't know. And then the cool thing, though, one of the cool things is like your potions in the game, they just straight up give you half of your
they're
health.
based on a percentage again, so it's like you get 50% of your health back when you use this item instead of being like the Final Fantasy way, which is like you get 100 health back, you get like 250 health back.
Yeah, so it essentially
per item tier.
It eliminated the need to have multiple items set up, so like high potion, X potion, mega potion.
That's something that I really like
gone.
about the game is that they don't need higher tiered items because you can make them higher tier by pressing them really fast or having them just be at a set percentage.
Yeah, I sold almost every one of my items, to be honest.
Like, you just quickly press the button and it's better than long pressing the button?
Yeah, dude.
Why would you ever do it any other way?
So if you do, so with magic, if you like throw one of the magic items out, all you have to do is press X really fucking fast, and it builds up how much damage it will do, up to like 268%.
Yeah.
So you're capable of dealing like a shitload of damage from the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, if you can...
If you had like a turbo controller to just fucking do that for you, you would wreck.
Yeah, it would be pretty good.
I still want to play through Bounty Hunter with a turbo controller.
It's just like
doesn't it have an accuracy
turn the
stat in
fucking
it?
screen.
No. Oh, it doesn't.
It's auto lock.
Yeah, it automatically locks on to the closest
You
enemies.
could even make it so your pistols lock onto two different targets.
I remember.
Because it was shitty.
And
I remember trying to really kill one guy, and I was only kind of killing two guys.
turbo that.
Hey, then I'll really kill both guys.
It really defeats the purpose of having any other guns in the game.
There almost wasn't to begin with.
Yeah.
The guns just fucked you harder. They were just a toy, like a weapon of mass destruction.
If you did that, though, you'd have to be real careful about walking over that fucking grenade launcher.
Yeah. Oh, dude. The game
Automatically
would just,
picking it up and then just
the game would just
yourself.
be like.
That's the fucking worst mechanic in any game. Auto equipping a gun as you're shooting another guy.
Yeah, and you just shoot the guy right in front of you with a fucking rocket, and you're both dead. Fuck that. Yeah.
That was a perk in that one fucking Flash zombie game that we played, but it's not a perk in fucking Bounty Hunter.
When you do automatic, fully auto shotgun.
Yeah, but that was a glitch.
Using the fucking the chainsaw or a fucking machine gun and then switching to the shotgun so it empties the clip.
Everything is just dead. Everything you could see is gone now. Yeah.
Oh, that was the greatest glitch in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to like about the gameplay. It's definitely not perfect, though. There are some annoying factors. Some of the town layouts are bad. The dungeon layouts are bad at times.
It's a very linear game, and there's no open world aspect at all.
Yeah.
It's literally just a map, and you have to like go to the different points on the map.
Yeah, you can run. It's like traveling by map. The old joke in the movies where you're going along the lines, but all you have is like the map and then like dots that lead from this area to this area, and you like run on the map from this big area to this big area on those dots, and you can't deviate at all.
Yeah, you can't bypass anything either. You have to go through that.
You can't
area.
go around one town to get to the town on the other side. You have to go through it.
And then you have to go
and then
to
you
the
have
next
to take
thing.
the right exit out to go to the next one.
So it's like a big pain in the ass to go to any town that you've already been before.
Yeah, especially if it's like 4 areas away. It's like, all right, let's
see.
Does each town and area have to load before you can go on to the next?
No, it's not like the one thing I was talking about earlier. It's not like a different disc every time or anything.
No, but like you're on the map and you're traveling, you have to hit each area along each path. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So when you go into it, it has to open up and load, and then you leave this city, and then then you do the map again.
Yeah.
And then load.
Yeah, the loading time is pretty fast, though.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not too bad.
But yes, it does load everything in that town.
It actually takes longer to get into a battle than it is to get into an area.
Oh, much longer, yeah.
Which is disgusting.
It is. Enemy variation, I feel like, was pretty strong in the game. I didn't really get tired of any of the enemies. The designs don't really make sense, but
they
that's
change
JRPG.
between areas, and there's quite a few areas to go to.
Yeah, there's a diverse cast of baddies and areas to explore in the game.
It's not like you're just you're running into different colors of cocks too. You're just you're getting new kinds of cocks
Every
along
time.
the
Yeah,
way. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
Just got to be aware of those assassin cocks because they'll take you from behind.
They will, yeah.
They'll take you
No
by
mercy.
surprise.
No mercy. It's not rape, it's surprise fucking. It's... there's good stuff when it comes to that. The mini games in the town when you do the carnival thing, those were painstaking for the most part.
Dude, every JRPG has shitty mini games. I don't care who you are. They're all trash. All of them.
I mean,
all of them.
Fishing mini games are fine.
Dude, playing the fucking Final Fantasy VII again, I forgot how shitty the snowboarding is, how shitty that submarine thing is,
Oh, yes.
and how shitty the fucking G-bike is. They're all awful.
Okay, look, the basketball game is a godsend, all right? If
The
you get
basketball
timing
thing is a
down-
fucking timing thing, and I just did the punching game instead.
to get your prizes.
Yeah, on fucking ×3 speed, I just wrecked everybody by pressing square.
×3.
I was getting 30 GP per like battle because I would
Oh.
always lose to the red Power Ranger. Which was a weird surprise. Like you get to the black dude with the giant afro, and then right after you beat that guy, it's the red Power Ranger, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
destroys you.
Yeah, and then you can just buy GP from the shady guy behind the save point.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So, and on ×3 speed, like, you can grind out Gil fucking fast.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, all especially PS1 RPGs have terrible minigames.
For the most part, yeah. I didn't like any of the mini games here. There was one that was like follow the ball on the cup thing, where they're like trying to trick you as to where it is. Puzzle ones where it's like, what's different in this image? And I'm like, I don't know. I just
same
left.
thing.
I just left because I got tired of them.
There's no real point to them either.
Yeah, you don't. It doesn't
You're
really.
just doing them for fun.
Yeah, to do more of them. Like, why would you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know if I have any other thoughts on the gameplay. I guess it was kind of cool. Some areas had like a bunch of like an extensive extra area, and there's even a side quest that I came across, but I couldn't advance in because I wasn't strong enough at the time. In that snowy area on the mountain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I found an undead guy. It had something to do with Rose. That was not happening at that time. I was getting fucked.
Yeah, there are a few side quests you can do, and some of them are just like out of your range by the time you get to them.
Yeah, and it's like, why are you
they're
gonna
like,
go
you
back?
have to come back here way later. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's a boss you can encounter in like disc 1 or 2, and you have to be on the last one in order to fight that guy.
Yeah, you have to ride your manta ray back to the fucking earlier zones of the game. I don't know. Overall, I think the gameplay is pretty good. I think the combat is a lot of fun. I love the additions. I think those are great. I think Dragoon form adds a strategy to those harder boss fights. Honestly, I didn't use the Dragoons for much of the game just because the game is so
fact that
easy.
You can't really heal in a Dragoon form is kind of a detriment.
Yeah.
And
when you're fighting the fucking big-ass dragon guy, and the dragon blocker staff blocks the enemies of the Dragoon, the dragon's counter gets countered by the dragon counter? Fucking dumb. But once I took that off, I destroyed that guy. It's I don't know. The limit breaks aren't as useful as in most other RPGs, but they worked, and you had specific fights that you needed to use the Dragoons for.
Yeah, I
'Cause you
mean,
were
they're
gonna
kind of
take too much
cool
damage.
early on, but later you can do way more damage than...
Yeah, really what it is if you get to a heavy-hitting boss, you need to get in there to absorb a lot of the health and then just kind of chunk them away. And then when you
Yeah.
get back down to human form, you can do your huge-ass addition damage.
Like, I'd switch to the Dragoon form for Kongol, because, like, he already has, like, way more health than everybody else. He's just a fucking tank.
Yeah.
And then he'd be even more of a tank.
Oh, Final Party.
Dart, Kongol, and Albert.
Mine was Dart, Rose, and Albert.
Yeah, I stopped
So.
using Rose because, like, she's a dark-themed person, and dark damage was fucking nothing against the late game guys.
Yeah, it was kind of falling off, yeah. I don't know. For me, I think gameplay is a strong part of the game, but I think I'm only going to give it an 8. And I've taken 2 points off for the excessively long time to get into a battle. It's painful, and honestly, the mini games are kind of lame, and I don't know, it just seems kind of... It's kind of standard fare for a lot of the gameplay for an RPG, and the really cool stuff almost breaks the game to the point where it's kind of too easy. I didn't lose to the final boss.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't kill me because I fucking trucked him. I did so much damage that there was he couldn't handle it. I destroyed him. Like, there was a point where I almost lost, but like, it's a fucking final guy, you know. And I feel like it made it the additions made it easier, but it also almost made it imbalanced in a way. And as much as they are my favorite part about this game, and it makes it a really, really good battle
you can
system.
grind out a disgusting level of damage pretty early on in the game if you want to.
Yeah. And that's
because literally the only thing you have to do to level up the additions is do them perfectly. So you can just do them on really easy enemies who won't counter you.
Yeah.
Like
and you
the
can grind
assassin
them.
cocks, for instance, and you can just grind those out real fast.
Yeah. The game overall I do think is pretty fun, though. That's one of the things I loved about it. I think it is one of my favorite PS1 era battle systems. I just wish we got into the battles a little bit faster and maybe a little more additions to play around with, because I maxed everybody's out. My main party, no more to earn.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem with gameplay is kind of town design.
Yeah,
I know that's
town
kind
design,
of part of design, but it's also part of gameplay because you have to go to those places. So the camera, I guess it's more camera maybe, but like a lot of areas or the towns kind of look the same, and it hurts real bad when you like keep going in the same fucking building because it looks like it's slightly different building every time for some fuck off reason, because every building looks the same.
Yeah.
And then camera's real bad.
Yeah, town design's another one that's
taking
bad.
forever to get into battles is a pain in the ass. I mean, I understand that the game is more about the boss battles than like grinding out the mini enemies, but you still want to grind out those additions because otherwise, late game, you're not going to be doing fucking any damage to the bosses anyway. So you still kind of want to do some grinding and the item to do like half whatever, and then still have like 10 seconds to get into every battle makes it tedious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of hurts that a little bit with the grinding is bad. Yeah, I do wish there was more additions. I wish there was more integration with their elements, because like each of the Dragoons has like an element form or whatever. Like Dart's is fire, Rose's is darkness, Lavitz gets wind. But they don't do anything with that unless you're in Dragoon form.
Yeah, no like extra wind
some,
damage.
Yeah, if they
for an
had
attack.
like Dart gets like fire themed additions, but they don't do fire damage. They just do regular damage, and then he has like a fire effect. Like he does that one volcano where he like hits twice and then like a fire eruption, but it doesn't do fire damage. It's just regular damage.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it does much more if it does. Dart was kind of a gimp anyway, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Most of the
it's
game.
just... Yeah, the main character is also a gimp, so that's kind of another problem. He should be even with, like, the other characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there was more additions to go with, maybe some more gameplay integration with elements, because they really didn't do that. You don't have to... There's no strategy in that game.
Yeah,
be
the
honest.
strategy is just be
the
good
strategy.
at the
Yeah,
additions.
the strategy is be good at the additions, and that's about it.
Pop up lavets.
It is sweet. I really do enjoy the additions. I really like the gameplay for the game, and like how they did the items and everything. But it kind of takes away any form of strategy.
Yeah, it just becomes get really good at timing and then destroy everything.
Yeah, because you don't need the dragoons, you don't need the special magics to do any extra damage to
Most
anything.
of the time, no. Yeah,
Yeah, it's literally just like get good.
just get the
Be good at
half
timing,
damage.
and then you can just fuck everything.
Yeah, just use
and then,
lavets as.
and then if you build up the additions enough, just get like the god armlet or whatever it is that makes it so you do perfect additions every time.
yeah, like get Edward's or not Edward Albert's move to like have the damage you take, and then you can just destroy everything. Pretty much, it's so overpowered. I also don't like how. Another thing I'm going to dock, so town design, slowness. I don't like how you can't get out of Dragoon form again. Like, when you're in and you have level 5 Dragoon form, you have to do 5 moves as that Dragoon before you can go back to using items. And my big thing is I don't use healers in this game. I use just pure damage because there's no need for a healer. But it's stressful when I Dragoon everybody and they have 5 turns before I can actually bring some life back into my party, and I can't res anybody.
Because the only way to heal is with items. Like, nobody has healing magic.
No, Meru, I think, is a healer. But
Yeah,
why
but
would
she
you
sucks
use
ass.
her? Yeah, exactly. There are characters that have healing moves, but I don't play those characters. It's about glass cannon boss rush mode.
It really is.
the game.
Yeah, because like they'll do like something that does a third of your health, but it won't fucking matter because that means you still have another turn to like wail on him before you can heal.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
What are you going to give gameplay, though?
I'll also give it an 8. The stuff isn't enough to take it down because the additions are really cool, the items are really cool.
Yeah.
But I wish there was more strategy, more element play, whatever.
Yeah, the additions, it makes it almost as cool of a battle system as Vagrant Story. But Vagrant Stories is still totally better. Just so you know.
Okay.
Next category is the art design. All right, so art design. How does this game look? I don't know why gameplay and design have like fused in your mind, Craig, but it's supposed to be the graphics and also the style.
Well, I mean,
guess.
yeah, it's graphics and design.
So, what do you? I personally want you to go first.
You personally want me to go first?
Yeah, since I asked you.
Okay. I do like the design. I think it's one of the best looking PS1 games. I don't really care for the fact that they went with a linear path overworld instead of just a smaller world map style thing.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of annoying to have to go through every single area every time you want to go back somewhere.
Right, and you don't get a mass transit thing, like a plane, until the end of the game.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I think it's a really good looking game. I like the design for the characters. I like the Dragoon forms. They're kind of cool looking.
yeah,
Although they're basically just Power Rangers.
kind of. Yeah, I like the way the wings look. I think they look really cool.
Yeah,
when they
got
first come out.
the frames and then the like glowing wing light. The lights is like the skin for the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I really like the design. It has some really good. The movies are cool.
The FMV or FMVs.
Yeah, the FMVs are cool. Yeah, it's a really good looking game. It's like the end of era PS1, so it should look really good. As good as the PS1 can do. So
Yeah, there's some facial expressions in some of the parts, like facial animation, which is really impressive for the PS1.
yeah,
Metal Gear Solid did that a teeny bit. That's kind of it to this level. I think some of the Final Fantasy FMVs look better, but the art style is
Yeah.
also totally different in this, so it's unfair to compare.
the
It's more
cutscenes in this
detailed.
one are longer than Final Fantasies, though.
Most of them, yeah. That final cutscene is it's long.
It's like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute cutscene. I think it looks great. I like the character designs. I like the way they look as dragoons. I like the variety for the enemies. They, of course, are unbelievable because it's an RPG from Japan, so some of the enemies are ridiculous, but the bosses all looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the boss designs are fucking awesome.
Yeah, it felt like a boss fight every time, which is good because there are so many bosses in this game.
Yeah, you get like 2 bosses like an area.
Yeah, and they look great.
Yeah.
I like the way the animation looks. I don't ever find it super jarring, even when they're doing their crazy addition moves. Like, it's slowed down a little bit to, for effect or whatever, but it's never like super shitty or anything like that.
Yeah.
I like the way they do the thing that all RPGs do. They integrate the battle map with the map around you. Stuff like that. I liked the look of most of the areas. Even the towns that I didn't like the layout of for the gameplay aspect of, the visuals of the town, they were mostly all distinct. And they had kind of distinct layouts as well.
I just thought of another thing for gameplay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Items. You can only hold a certain amount of items, and items don't stack.
Yeah, that was rough. 32 is too few.
Yeah.
Stocking up is a matter of going back and forth to stock up over and over.
Yeah, you gotta have like 20 potions.
Yeah. So
at all times.
Yeah, so you gotta get rid of a lot of stuff. That was annoying.
Yeah.
I liked the aesthetic of the game. I liked the world. It felt very real. It felt varied. And it was believable.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool areas that you go to. It's not just like, oh, you're in a desert or, oh, you're in a forest now. Like, you actually can see the landscape and things change as you go into different areas.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just like, oh, there's a desert right next to a forest.
Yeah, there is a desert level. It's a giant pain in the ass, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think this is one of the best categories for the game as far as art design. I think I'm going to give it. I think I'm going to give it a 10. I don't have any problems with it. I guess that quantifies the 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's one of the better looking PlayStation 1 games. The colors are nice. It's like a pretty vibrant game.
It is.
Things really stand out. They did a pretty good job with the facial animations.
I think I'm going to give it a 9. I do like everything. However, some stuff looks really weird. Like, of course, the throat movements in that last cutscene.
I'm pretty sure he was just
like a lot of but it looks really fucking weird. There's like a lot of weird stuff like that.
Like something was going down his throat.
Yeah.
Some of the character designs are also kind of while I like them, they're also really weird. Like fucking Rose is the one pant thing.
Oh no, she has the reverse Titus.
Yeah,
so Titus has
she has a short boot and a really long boot. It's what it is.
No, it's a short boot and a really long sock. I think it's on one side.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the opposite Titus. It's instead of being a long pant leg on one side, it's a really long sock on one side. So you get to see her ass still, but she's got most of her leg covered up.
And then you get Dart, who has one side of his arm is fully gauntleted, and then the other one isn't at all.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I mean, Cloud's the same way. He's just a dollar store Cloud.
Hey, Cloud's not the same way.
Yeah, he has one shoulder, doesn't he?
No.
You sure about that?
He only has one shoulder, Craig. Did you notice?
No, I thought in Advent Children he only had the one.
The Advent Children design.
He has one pauldron, I think is what he's getting at.
Yeah, because you get into fighter stance and you just have the
may
one.
only have one pauldron, but he's still got defenses on his arms and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
One arm isn't fully decked out in armor, and then the other one's just chilling.
He can't afford his other sleeve, man.
And then he's got fucking jeans on.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, why are you
he's got
jeans?
Jeans with fucking armored kneecaps.
Yeah, that's for sucking people off. I was joking about that when I was playing. It's you're always down. You're down on your knees a lot, aren't you, buddy? Yeah. That's fair.
The Advent Children design.
Yeah, see?
But that's Advent Children. That's not fucking that's not actual
it looks
Final
like
Fantasy
Popeye
7.
in actual Final Fantasy 7. You're gonna cry about the fact that his forearms aren't bigger than his shoulders? I
mean, we should. He should be Popeye.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Ares is olive oil.
Yeah,
and Sephiroth is the other sailor guy.
Yeah, the really big dude.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't even remember his name. Yeah.
I can't remember his name either.
That's fair. That's a fair complaint. Some of the character designs are pretty wonky, but that's standard for a JRPG.
Yeah, I know, but it's mostly like also for the town designs. Whether I do like some of them, they are really nice looking. They can be confusing, maybe because of the camera. I don't know exactly what it is about the game that they made it look really fucking weird.
Yeah.
One of the towns, they like zoom out, so it's like really fucking... It's like one of the starting towns, and I can't remember which one it is, where they kind of zoom out, and it's kind of a maze.
Yeah.
Where they have like a bunch of bridges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one annoyed the fuck out of me. I think I got lost there the first time I played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, those are all fair. Fair enough. What about the sound and music of the game? Voice acting. This is
voice acting is kind of poor. Music is decent. There are a few tracks I liked. That one song that was playing when the moon fell on the tree was kind of cool.
Yeah, what about the flying...
I think they played that one a couple times.
Flying trumpet.
The flying trumpet was cool, especially right after the fucking elevator music.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
I don't know, the sound of the game, everything else kind of sounded fine, though, I think. The voice acting, I agree, terrible, awful voice acting. No wonder, like... I feel like I can see why they didn't get paid before and why they did the whole Screen Actors Guild and like the big unionized thing happened where they went on strike. It's because they actually had to start working at some point, and this is not that point. 2000 is before.
This is like early when they still didn't have voice acting that much, though.
Yeah, it wasn't super common. I mean, Metal Gear Solid came out before this did, and it has really good voice acting. But that's like that's kind of an exception.
So did Symphony of the Night. And as Cam's fond of saying, that was recorded in a bathroom.
Yeah, it sounds horrible. So I don't know. I think it is subpar as far as the voice acting goes.
There are parts where it's okay, but like anytime the Shanna's actress is on there,
it just feels like every for the cutscenes that you guys showed me, it just feels like the voice acting is out of place.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit the mood or the scene.
Yeah,
they're very miscast. And
one of the
misplaced.
first ones where he's like explaining the Dragon campaign was all right, where he's got like the super deep voice.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. That one was okay.
Some of them were good. I think the music overall is actually pretty decent, and I think the final theme is actually a good song.
Yeah,
surprisingly, the theme that plays if you leave the game on too long before starting it.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a good song. It's kind of poppy, but it fits the mood, it fits the theme, it fits everything, and it's not super annoying.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I'd give The Sound of Music an 8.
8 out of 10. I am going to give it a 7 because of that goddamn voice acting. So let's
you didn't
see.
like that? Ah!
No. So I'll give music a 4. Pretty good, pretty standard for the most part. Some of it's a little too stock, and then voice acting, not great. Last, and some would say most important category of the review, the replayability. Craig, will you replay Legend of Dragoon again? Why? Why not?
Maybe. I don't know. This is kind of the thing where it's... To me, RPGs don't have a ton of replayability, just because, like, the entire point is the story. And once you got through the story, there's no real drawback to playing them again, especially with one as long as this one is. Because it's just you're just playing it for nostalgia reasons.
Yeah.
And as cool as the gameplay is, I don't know if it's worth spending another 50 hours just to play a timing minigame for the whole time.
Yeah, and you just want to get through it as fast as you can.
Honestly, unless I had a turbo, a fucking turbo controller where I could just spam magic the whole game, I don't know if I'd play it again.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's cool, and I do kind of like the game. As disappointing as the story is overall, But yeah, I don't know. I give it like a 4.
Oh wow, that low, huh?
Yeah, if only for the Slambert and the assassin cock.
Yeah, the jokes in the game,
Yeah.
the things that we created.
Yeah, because I mean, there's not much else. The translation is pretty bad. So I guess like if you're playing it in Japanese, maybe like do a playthrough of that if you understand it. See if the translation's better.
Yeah, I am going to give it a 6 because I played it again. I chose it out of the pile of nominees from the forcible entry, and I said, I want to play this game. Craig needs to beat this game. He played it years ago, couldn't beat it. We should do it. I had really fond memories of it, and it kind of didn't live up to what I remembered. The things that I remembered lived up because the combat is pretty fun in the game, but it's not. There's not enough extra stuff to do to really make it worth just playing it for the combat. You know, it's 50 hours long, and it's a slog to get through the story. There's a lot of side stuff that I don't care about because it's with shallow wooden characters that have no depth.
Yeah, literally the best character dies like 5 hours into the game.
Yeah, the only other characters that I like, I guess Albert's a good character because of his connection with Slambert, who's the real good character.
Yeah, but he doesn't even really have a character arc.
Rose,
none of them really do.
Rose kind of does. Hers is just a really long one with a short payoff.
But she's like easily forgiven for murdering endless amounts of innocent people.
That's true. So it's kind of unbelievable. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to enjoy from the game, but I feel like there's plenty of things that are also missing, and that's why I gave it a 6. Obviously, I liked it enough to play it again and to buy it multiple times.
Yeah.
But this is one that, I don't know if I really want to replay again.
I would say it's worth a playthrough, but I don't know if it's worth more than that.
Yeah.
Especially if you love JRPGs. I mean, it has a really good battle system. I just wish there was more depth.
I mean, it's better than the last one we played.
That's true.
It's better than the fucking Digimon game, but who in their right mind would have assumed that it wasn't, right?
So it's as cool as the additions are, and as much as I love it, it's kind of shallow for an RPG.
And like, we maxed it out. I maxed them out. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, there's only like each character only gets like what, 5 or 6 additions.
I think the main guy got 7. Dark got 7.
Well, yeah, but he gets like one right at the end.
Yeah, you barely get to play with.
Yeah.
It's the side content is so difficult when you get to it that you don't go back to it. There's just not enough variety to really cement the replayability.
Yeah, that side quest stuff is like, oh, well, we want you to do this at the end of the game when you like already beat it.
Yeah, and it's like, well, the end boss was a chump, so why the fuck would I go worry about the side quest if I don't need to be stronger? Like, what's the point? There's a lot of that in there. Anyway, let's recap before we give our final thoughts and end this story. We both gave it a 6. Gameplay, 8s across the board. Art design, 9 from you, 10 from me. Sound and music, 8 from you, 7 from me. Replayability, 4 for Craig, 6 for myself. Grand total of 35 out of 50 for Caleb Craig and 37 out of 50 for myself. A 72 out of 100 for The Legend of Dragoon.
I think that's pretty close to what I got on Metacritic.
It has a 74 on Metacritic.
Yeah, there we go.
So one of the few times where we've actually shortchanged the game.
Not by much, though.
Not by a whole lot, no. Final thoughts before we wrap up the episode on the game.
I don't know. I think I've already said what I needed to say.
Yeah. If you like RPGs, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, if you like Final Fantasy, you'll love this game because it's trying to be Final Fantasy so hard that you can tell.
It's very obvious, yeah.
If you like RPGs, you'll like it. Even if it's a little shallow, the additions are kind of fun.
Yeah, and we have a copy of it for you guys that you could take home. So please do. And it's kind of, I don't know if it's rare necessarily, but I don't see too many copies of it out there.
I think the only rare copy is the colored disc one you have.
Yeah, that stays here
because it's a greatest hits, so it's not that hard to find.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Plus,
it's
on PSN.
Oh, that's right, it's on the network. So yeah, I would pick it up on there, give it a playthrough. It's $10, $15, whatever, on the network. It's worth that. I think it's worth what I paid. I think it's worth like $30. It's because it's a 50-hour game, for God's sake.
Yeah, you get your money's
There's a lot
worth.
to do. I would say pick it up, but don't expect it to be your favorite. I know there are people that listen to this show that have said this is their favorite game. I
can see why sometimes there are moments where it shines, and then other moments where I'm like, this is really fucking stupid.
Yeah, if you like this one, you should play
like
Vagrant
for
Story.
instance,
It's much better.
Winglies.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that Winglies is a fucking shitty name to call the ultimate race of people.
Yeah. Everybody knows
God,
it's supposed
it's so
to be
stupid.
It's supposed to be Aryans, right?
Wingers.
The Winglies.
Dude, there's fucking enemies in Sunset Overdrive that are called Wingers. And it's fucking weird.
Is it?
Yeah, because like that game is like all about zombies, but they're like people that are transformed by basically Red Bull. And the Wingers are basically just people who have sprouted wings, and the wing skin is just like thick soda cans.
Yeah.
It's really odd, but
Well,
it's also
there-
kind of cool. The design, it's a really whacked out game, but it's fun.
Well, there we go. That is our review of The Legend of Dragoon. Guys, let us know what you think of the game. Do you agree with our points? Do you disagree? Let us know at Nude Clan Podcast on Twitter or on our website, nudeclan.net. You know where to support us. You know what to follow. This show, Ultima Final Fantasy, FF Podcast, the Godzilla Podcast, if you're into the old kaiju films, that's there. Caleb Craig and a couple other buddies do Puff Puff Hour, a Dragon Quest podcast on rare occasions. And I have the Song of Schweiss and Johnson, a Game of Thrones retrospective podcast, as well as Getting Fat with Caleb and Joe and Super Sexy Swingin' Fan Fiction. That is our network. Go check out those other shows. Lots of great content to be had. And
You want to do vote?
yeah, let's do our vote before we end this episode. All right, so the nominees are in. Caleb and Cameron. Caleb Schweiss, Cameron Wilson's next game. I nominated Akiba Strip, gifted by our good friend A4 Extreme. Excited to play it. Cameron hates the idea of it. I kind of do too, but you know what? Fuck it, man. We're never going to play it if we don't do it right now. So that's my vote, or my nominee.
Mine is Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
Because
Gifted.
you guys need to play that.
Gifted by whom?
It wasn't gifted by anybody, but
Oh.
but Yakuza Kiwami was.
This is going to be the great
and this
gift
is
off.
this is the prequel to Kiwami, so you need to play this before you play the gifted game.
Okay. I'll take that argument. And then since the double nomination falls on me, I'm going to nominate Terranigma, given to us by Angry Ass Black Dude. And then the first Uncharted game,
Drake's Fortune.
which was gifted to us by
A4
A4
as well. Yeah.
So a couple of games from A4 Extreme. Thank you for that.
We want to start getting to these because it's awesome when you guys send them to us. But we get caught up in forcible entries, which, guys, we're kind of running out of those. So
Yeah, pay us money.
get that. Yeah, pay us money and then get your forcible entries in. We're going to talk about having a second tier of forcible entries at a certain amount on Patreon as well. And a few of you guys will be at that when we finally decide on it, I'm sure. So we'll work on that on the sideline as well. But if you have given us $10, just tell us what you want us to play and which couple of us you want us to play this game, and we'll do it.
Who you want to pair off?
Yeah, who do you want to pair off? It's all male on male here. So those are the nominees. Go to Nude Clan at Nude Clan Podcast on Twitter, where you can find those nominees and vote, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be it for this week of Nude Clan. Until next time, as always,
Enjoy the nude.
May the list go on.
live always in the nude.